tonight's live Facebook record sale. When you're on and watching, be sure to let us know. And we'll get started in just a second. Camera looks a little more tilted than it normally does. How about right there? Okay. Let's go here. Craig's already said hello. Hello, Craig, back to you. Let me go ahead and get this shared in the group. And there. And there. All right, copy this link. And let's go over here to our group. Getting everything shared. Happy Friday. Hopefully y'all are in for the weekend. If you do have to work tomorrow, like myself, I'm sorry. It's part of life. But if you are off tomorrow, then you can sit in with us and have a great night of relaxing record buying. I stopped calling it relaxing because when I first started doing this, it was a lot more intense when I first started doing these a few years ago. I mean, it was like people were high intensity watching these. I think a lot of people still are. But some people's like, Chad, this is not relaxing. This is the most stressful, watching your shows are the most stressful part of my day sometimes because I have to make sure I'm first. I've got to make sure I get these. I got to make sure I get something before it sells out. But hopefully you are relaxed and cool and calm. So, all right. Now, I've got it shared and the link posted everywhere. Now I just got to do the same thing for YouTube. We're also live on, let's see, where are we live at? We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. I have it shared where you can find it on Instagram. And we're also live on Twitter. You can watch there, but you can't comment. I think everybody knows that by now. So, all right, let's get this picture posted. It's Taylor Swift Day. That means a lot to some people. Like there's probably a lot of girls around the world today literally just crying listening to her music. And there were some people who didn't even know she had a new album out. So, all right. So when you're on, be sure to say hi. I can officially say that I can see your comments now. So if you can comment, I can see it now. I've got it on my phone. We're going to start showing some LPs. Probably go ahead and do one of our warm-up bins. I think this is one of the last things I kind of breezed through last night. Plus I have a, what else do I have over here? I have a flip video I posted last night. I got auctions. And let me pull up Facebook. I'm going to keep that flip video open because there's a few people I need to keep in mind when I'm going through this. Where's that flip video I posted early this morning? Right here. Lateralis, Ghost of the Machine, Slipknot, Audioslave, Throwing Copper, and both Tenacious D. All right. It's almost 7:20. Yep. Paul said, I posted that we're going to start at 7. Paul said, I think you mean 7:20. And I was like, yeah, most likely. Plus, Friday, sometimes I've debated just going ahead and saying 8 o'clock on Fridays because most people are going to be tuned in after 8 o'clock anyway. So we usually start the first part off with a steady pace of new vinyl, and then we go from there. So, did you have enough Soundgarden artists to fill the request? Oh yeah, those won't be in. Well, unless you're one of the first 2 people. Actually, no, those won't be in until next week. That dealer, that distributor, those didn't get shipped. They did get shipped out. UPS tracking says Monday, so it'll be a whole nother week before you see that invoice. Okay, let me go ahead. This will be technically our warm-up bin, which is some stuff I think I went through late last night. Carnivore Retaliation, $33.99. Limited neon orange clear vinyl, $33.99. Janis Joplin's in. I'll show those in just a second. Carnivore, so back-to-back Carnivores, Retaliation and Self-Titled. That's on orange vinyl. This is on clear vinyl. That is $28.99. John Lee Hooker Burnin', red vinyl from Kraft. That is $36.99. John Lee Hooker Burnin' and Nirvana Bleach, $28.99. Nirvana Bleach, remastered from the original debut. Nirvana's debut album, remastered from the original analog tapes. Dr. Dre 2001 is $44.99. So what I've been told from Joe Ives gets Nirvana Bleach. Let's sell that to Joe Ives. What I've been told is we get a lot of packages here, especially if I was supposed to get all the new vinyl I was supposed to today, it would be about 3 times as much. But what I've told is UPS has some kind of formula based on how many packages I can get in a day. There's sometimes I think they could probably drop off a whole truck here, but they're not going to do that. They are only going to send me so much. So Dr. Dre 2001, we have Stranger Things season 1 and 2 soundtrack. They put both seasons 1 and 2 together. Awesome music, $29.99. And Joe Diffie, Nashville's greatest Nashville hits, $28.99 for Joe Diffie, and that's on purple vinyl. LA Guns, Hollywood Forever is $29.99. LA Guns, Hollywood Forever. And Tenacious D, $44.99. That is self-titled Tenacious D, $44.99. That's technically already sold, and so is this one. Oh, no, that's the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club soundtrack is $36.99. $36.99 on the Breakfast Club soundtrack. And Sid Barrett, the Madcap Laughs. I've actually got more of these already on the way, because it said low stock and it said deleted. After is like 3 remaining in catalog, and then it was being deleted, which tells me it may be going out of print, or they're going to do some kind of anniversary release later, or they may not ever press it again for a while. So that's why I have a few of those more than normal. Sid Barrett is $36.99, the Madcap Laughs. Motorhead, Overkill, $26.99, and the Black Crowes Lines. I got in one of the new crates, I have the newest shipment of these. One of our best sellers for this week. That's because it was originally only a record store day title, meaning you could only get it on record store day, and it was limited, and they've been pretty pricey for a while, and there's a new batch out. They're pink vinyl. They're $39.99. Iron Maiden, The Final Frontier. That's a 2 LP, $44.99. And we have Counting Crows, August and Everything After. Counting Crows is also a 2 LP, $49.99. Social Distortion is $44.99. $44.99. James Taylor Live is $49.99. That's a 2 LP James Taylor Live. Tool Lateralis is $44.99. Tool Lateralis is $44.99. And we have Limp Bizkit, Significant Other. That's also a 2 LP, $44.99. I think somebody in the group claimed a Lateralis. I'll tag that later. Just make sure I have that pulled so we don't sell out. Okay, so that was just some stuff from this week. Carnivore. Ron Phillips does take that last tool. I've got a couple other new tool items tonight. I think they're new unofficials. I'll be showing in just a second. Ron Phillips got tools. So Carnivore. John Lee Hooker Burnin', Dr. Dre, Stranger Things, Joe Diffie. Seeing this soundtrack makes me want to rewatch it again. I think I'm going to wait maybe till like the fall and rewatch Stranger Things. I'm trying to get some other stuff knocked out. Trying to rewatch all the Indiana Jones movies so I can go watch the new one Sunday. I'm almost done with Temple of the Doom, which isn't too good of a movie. So, do you have another Disturbed from last night and a Sid? I can give you a Sid Barrett. Let me give James Bragg a Sid Barrett, and I will put you on a waiting list for Immortalized. Right now, I may have more, but as of right now, I don't know if I do or not. LA Guns, Breakfast Club, 1 Sid Barrett left. There'll be more here on Monday. Motorhead, Black Crowes, Iron Maiden, Counting Crows, Social Distortion, James Taylor, and Limp Bizkit, Significant Other. Yeah, I think at some point or another I've watched all the Indiana Jones movies, but I was going to rewatch them so I could have an update before I go watch this newest one on Sunday. However, I'm about, like I said, halfway through Temple of the Doom, and it's not as good as I remember, so I guess I was a lot younger. I think when you're watching those early Indiana Jones movies as a kid, I think they're a little bit better. So how much is Motorhead? Motorhead is $26.99. $26.99 for Motorhead. Now, the first Indiana Jones movie is great. The third one is great. And I really can't remember the one from 2008, but I've seen it in theaters, so. All right. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to finish the Temple of Doom. I think I'm just going to go through that. Let me make sure I didn't miss any other comments. We had any word on Black Crowes by your side. I'm not for sure what that is. Sid Barrett's The Third Man Vault. That's probably maybe why they're going out of print on the other ones. The new Extreme album. Now, Extreme had an album out like 2 months ago. And then they're doing some reissues. Jamie, which one are you exactly talking about? So, and then can you get on the Aerosmith pre-order? You can. Just go comment on the post so you get in the right order. Yes, Motorhead Overkill, $26.99. Okay, so we have Black Flag, Slip It In. We had a waiting list for this. Let me find that. Let's go ahead and Black Crowes by your side. I feel like I've seen, or I guess I know what that is, but is there a new release coming out or something? By your side. Is that a new? That's what I guess I'm confused about. Jeremiah wants Motorhead Overkill. That's so to Jeremiah Stasich. Jeremiah, that's yours. Also, let's see. What was about to say? I've lost my train of thought. Black Flag, Slip It In, $36.99. We had a waiting list for Black Flag. That was Deborah Devaney. Deborah Devaney. We ran out before that. We have 4 more copies, $36.99. There's a lot going on in the comments. I'm trying to keep up with questions and read claims and make sure I'm doing all the waiting lists correct too. And we're talking about Indiana Jones. A lot going on. Jeremiah got Motorhead Overkill. And it came over the lines. Okay. I thought by your question, I thought you meant there was like a pre-order out for it or something. I have no information on that one. Black Flag is $36.99. And here's one of the new Tool unofficials. This is Stranglehold, the Kalamazoo broadcast, $44.99. And that is on colored vinyl. Stranglehold, the Kalamazoo broadcast, $44.99. That's a gatefold 2LP from Tool, $44.99. $44.99. Also, Robert Cray Band and Stevie Ray Vaughan, that's $34.99. O-Jam New Blood, the Redo Club, Dallas, 1987. That's a 2LP live unofficial from Parachute, and I believe Tool is also from Parachute. No, that's Bauhaus. That's another label that does very good live unofficials. Tool Stranglehold sold to James Bragg. So James Bragg gets Tool, and I have more of those available. So the new Janis Joplin releases starts right here. This one is called Janis Joplin. Name of the album is Janis. I have pre-orders. There's 3 new Janis Joplin pre-orders. 3 new Janis Joplin releases from Music on Vinyl. This is $44.99. Wow, number 33. I didn't even pay attention to the numbers. We got 33 and 31 and 325. And I've already pulled out the other 8 for pre-orders. And I don't have those. Let me actually find my phone. I don't have those wrote down, but I'm pretty sure if you're on the pre-order, if you know, you know. This is $44.99. Like I said, there's 3 different Janis Joplin releases. This one that's called Janis is a 1975 compilation that features the soundtrack to the motion picture Janis, live recordings, interviews, and early performances. So this has kind of got all kinds of stuff on it. Songs, live recordings, early performances, interviews, and it's limited to 1,500 on blue vinyl with a 16-page book. I have 3 of those left after I pulled the pre-order, and of course, Music on Vinyl. They've done a really good job with these. I was looking at the jackets and everything. Very good. And the pre-order on that was Scott Drum, Debbie Blair, Michael Nath, Rhonda Drar, Sherry Darnell, Kyle Gregory, Brittany Bragg, Bob Reiger, and Jeremy Vaught. We actually pre-sold 10 of those, I think. So Janis Joplin is $44.99. $44.99. Let's see, price on Tool. The Tool unofficial is $44.99. Stranglehold, the Kalamazoo broadcast, that's $44.99. This is also a new release from Music on Vinyl that we had a pre-order for. Gloria Estefan, Cuts Both Ways, that is $38.99. And the 3 pre-orders on that. Tony Alejandro, Chris Kingsley and Paul Brothers. I've got one left. Gloria Estefan, cuts both ways. That is $38.99, and that's my last copy I have of that one. Cuts both ways. Also a new release from Music on Vinyl, and also another new release from Music on Vinyl, Unwritten Law, Here's to the Morning, limited edition of 1,000 on green vinyl, available on vinyl for the first time. Unwritten Law, Here's to the Morning, that's $38.99. And Jeff Dedman, if you're watching, that was a special request from him, and I ordered one extra of Unwritten Law. James Bragg does want a Janis Joplin, so let's pull that for James Bragg. We'll put that right there on top of his copy of Tool, and that's so to James Bragg. And Mike Massey wants Unwritten Law. That's so to Mike Massey, Unwritten Law. So those are all sold there. So 2 Janis Joplins and 1 Gloria Estefan, and Randy Scarborough wants a Tool Unofficial. That's so to Randy Scarborough, Tool Unofficial. Okay, another new release we had last week, or I should say a new unofficial. I've had this before, but it's been a long time ago, and that's David Bowie and 9 Inch Nails, white colored vinyl, hand numbered. It says first time on vinyl, which is not true. There's other bootlegs of this out there, but it's numbered on the back, and it's $36.99. We had one person on a waiting list. I think James Bragg. Yeah, James Bragg, you was on a waiting list for that. I've got 2 extras. That's David Bowie and 9 Inch Nails, live in 1995. 1995, $36.99. Got a restock of the Dwight Yoakam, Swimming Pools, Movie Stars, etc. And that is $29.99. Dwight Yoakam. And Mr. Eddie Pasir asked about that the other night, and I knew I had more on the way, and I did. So I've got an extra 4 copies, and that's Dwight Yoakam. Eddie, I've already got one pulled for you. That's $29.99. I've got 4 extras of those. Nirvana in Utero, $36.99 the other night. Somebody had claimed this, and we didn't have one. That was Ryan Kelly. So Ryan Kelly, we have you down for one. I've got 2 extras. That's the 33 1/3 Nirvana in Utero, $36.99. Sepultura, Beneath the Remains. Sepultura is a 2 LP expanded edition, and that is $38.99. Jerry Stone wants the Dwight Yoakam. That's so to Jerry Stone. And we've got several new MoFi titles that A, we've never had, and B, have been out of stock for a long time. And this is Miles Davis, Jack Johnson, and that is $46.99. That's a new sealed MoFi pressing. We have number 6998 and 6999. That's $46.99. That's Miles Davis, Jack Johnson, music by Miles Davis, $46.99. I have 2 of those available. James Bragg wants Sepultura. We'll sell that to James Bragg, and Chris Kirkley wants a Miles Davis. I have 1 extra of those. 1 extra of those. Also have most of the Stevie Ray Vaughan analog production stuff tonight. The first one I have is The Sky is Crying. That's the single LP, 33 1/3, $49.99. So Stevie Ray Vaughan, Sky is Crying, $49.99. And Lightning Hopkins, Soul Blues, also $49.99 from Analog Productions, $49.99, single LP. Snot from Music on Vinyl, that is Snot, Get Some, $38.99, new and sealed. These are all new and sealed if you just join us. It's actually our first crate of new stuff, and as you can tell, there's a lot of great titles in here. Like, I didn't even know MoFi had this in print. The Knack, Get the Knack, a MoFi pressing, $46.99. Numbered on the back to 3000. This is number 2928. $46.99 for The Knack. We have Paul Beal first on Snot. We'll give Paul Beal some Snot. And The Knack was $46.99. Foreigner, this is hits from 40 years. It's a 2 LP, 77 to 2017, $39.99 for Foreigner 40. That's a 2 LP hits comp. Mark Quarum wants The Knack. Let's sell that to Mark Quarum, MoFi pressing. And Dave Matthews Band Crash, $38.99. 20th anniversary, LP edition, remastered. Sounds incredible. $38.99 on Dave Matthews Band. Never had this before. It's Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young live broadcast, $33.99. It's live Crosby, Stills, and Nash recordings from 69 to 70, and that is $33.99. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought, well, if no one buys it, I'll definitely keep it. And Grateful Dead, Anthem of the Sun. It looks like some of the Grateful Dead albums are popping up in print here and there as anniversary remasters. This is the 50th anniversary remaster of Anthem of the Sun, $29.99. Mark Fallon wants a Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and it looks like I didn't have enough. So we'll start a waiting list for that, if that's okay with everybody. That's $33.99. That's sold to Mark Fallon. Mark Querum was second, and Randy Scarborough was third. So we'll put Mark Querum and Randy on the Crosby, Stills, Nash live waiting list. David Coverdale and Jimmy Page. This is also another live unofficial. It's not actually a concert. It's like a live studio rehearsal. So it's a studio type quality recording. Live, Coverdale and Page, $38.99. And of course, they're doing a lot of Led Zeppelin tracks and Whitesnake. Really cool stuff. Led Zeppelin and Whitesnake tracks on there. $38.99. And Neil Young, Harvest Moon is new and sealed 2 LP, $36.99. Mark Fallon asked earlier, what's on the deck for auctions tonight? A few things. I actually need to go grab them because that was technically our first bin of new arrivals, which usually means we go ahead and start auctions. The other night I started some a little earlier, but we'll go ahead and start some now. I got all the stuff, of course, I posted on Facebook in the hot picture. I'm going to grab that stuff right now and bring it over. And then I have plenty of Japanese stuff from the last couple nights that we just simply haven't got to. So they're great titles. We've just simply haven't got to them. We're going to start out with probably all the stuff that was on the Facebook picture. I don't think I photographed Stevie Nicks. Well, I don't think these didn't make the cut for the hot picture because I ran out of grids. When I'm photographing these things, there's a certain way I can lay it out from my photo app. I can either make like 4 4s or a 9 or different ways, and I made 1 9, so these didn't make the cut. This is Stevie Wonder's Greatest Hits, but we're going to start out with some stuff that we don't get too often on Japanese vinyl. Here's the first one, the classic Stevie Wonder's Greatest Hits. The vinyl is near mint minus. Your typical Japanese quality, near mint minus, and it has the lyric insert and a beautiful cover with Obi, Stevie Wonder's Greatest Hits. That is a $35 start. $35 start on Stevie Wonder's Greatest Hits, and we have a Japanese promo copy. There's the promo markings on the label. And over here, this is a Japanese white label promo of Stevie Nicks' The Wild Heart. A $35 start on that as well. And it is mint and pristine. So first 2 auctions, $35 starts. Promo copy of Stevie Nicks and Stevie Wonder's Greatest Hits. Okay, let me go back up to the top. We have Eric Beck got the copy of Coverdale Page. That's sold to Eric Beck. Coverdale Page. How much is the Dead? Grateful Dead is $29.99, Colin. $29.99. Darren Wortman also wants a Coverdale Page, so we'll put him on a waiting list. So Darren, you'll be first on that waiting list. And Charles Hant's Harvest Moon is $36.99. That was the next question. Charles Hant's Harvest Moon, $36.99. And then let me make sure I didn't miss anything else. Dennis Nelson's at $35 on Stevie Wonder. So this was our first crate of new stuff. We've got 5 crates of vintage. No, 1, 2, 3, 6 crates of vintage, I think. 6 crates of new vintage stuff. We've got 3 more full crates of new stuff just like this. And a lot of them are like this, a lot of different titles. So long story short, we've got a lot of great vinyl for you tonight. So one quick recap on this. Black Flag, Slip It In, $36.99. That's a restock, and I have lots of other Black Flags on the way that will be here on Monday. Tool Stranglehold, which is a new live unofficial from Bauhaus, $44.99. Mike Massey wants Black Flag. We'll sell that to Mike Massey. 3 left on that one. There's more tools. I got 3 left. Another live unofficial. I've sold a lot of these before in the past. I didn't have it in stock, so that's why I grabbed a couple more. Robert Cray and Stevie Ray Vaughan, that was $34.99. We have Janis Joplin, last 2 copies of Janis, $44.99, limited to 1,500 on blue vinyl. Also put Scotty Hops on that Coverdale Page waiting list. Gloria Estefan, last copy, cuts both ways, limited and numbered, $38.99. 2 copies left of David Bowie and 9 Inch Nails, $36.99, white vinyl, hand numbered on the back. Dwight Yoakam is $29.99, 3 copies of that. Nirvana in Utero, and then some audiophile stuff. Miles Davis, Jack Johnson, $46.99. Stevie Ray Vaughan, $49.99. Lightning Hopkins, $49.99. Snot, $38.99. And then the Knack, that's a MoFi pressing, $46.99. Never had that title before. The Best of Foreigner, $39.99. That's a definite collection. Dave Matthews Band, Neil Young, and Grateful Dead. To me, that is some great new arrivals there. I'm glad to see a lot of that stuff available in our bins. So final call on Stevie Wonder's Greatest Hits, $35 start, or we do have a $35 bid with Dennis Nelson. And if anybody wants in on Stevie Nicks before I make it a buy it now, $35 buy it now on that. Chris, you have not missed Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Scott, you have not missed Born Under a Bad Sign. These are our first two auctions, and neither one of them was in the hot picture, so we're just getting started. John Duran, I've got you down for Foreigner. Thank you. Let's go ahead and grab the first crate of new vintage stuff, which is right here behind me. Let me take a quick peek. I have not even spoke to John or Paul today. They were both here all day pricing records. Sometimes I remain in the shadows. I just show up and start selling stuff. So let me see what we have in here. I see some stuff that I think we auctioned last night that I'm just going to leave in here. Some pretty cool looking stuff. I took a few pictures. I was actually going to send them to Paul and John. I don't know if either one of them's watching or listening right now, but I went to the back room last night for about an hour and flipped through random bins, and I took pictures of stuff I found. Really cool stuff. Like, I don't know, I hit a couple things. I was going to send them pictures and be like, if y'all can find these albums, it would be a miracle, because I did a lot of digging, but I found some really nice Yardbird stuff, some Stones albums. What else? I think a Jeff Healey back there, which I know is always a hot commodity here. And I just put them all back in the bins. I was like, they'll eventually find them. They basically show up and dig out records and price them, and we got enough back there probably for the next 500 shows. And we're always buying. I bought that collection from a customer who brought it up from Atlanta, Andy Mitchell. Andy, I hadn't even touched your records. I bought a big collection from him. I saw him last night. I was like, dang, I forgot he brought those up here. I hadn't even looked at them. So I'm going to try to work on those for tomorrow night's sale. Let's go ahead and sell Dennis Nelson, the Stevie Wonder Jake. That's sold for $35. We'll have to find out a sleeve. And if anybody wants Stevie Nicks, this is a $35 buy it now. $35 buy it now on Stevie Nicks The Wild Heart. That's a mint Japanese promo copy. $35 buy it now. Okay, let's go through this first crate of new vintage stuff. Ricky Van Shelton, Wild Eyed Dreams. Ricky Van Shelton is $24.99. Looks like it is near mint. Looks like it's perfect. $24.99 for Ricky Van Shelton. Climax Blues Band, gold plated. That's in shrink wrap with hop sticker. $22.99. Climax Blues Band, shrink wrap and hop sticker on that one. Black Oak, Race with the Devil. Black Oak is $16.99. Black Oak. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Willie and the Poor Boys, $29.99. That is the original inner sleeve for that. Does have some writing on the label, but that is a very nice copy of Willie and the Poor Boys. It was camouflage. There's some writing right there on the cover too. $29.99 on CCR. A Taste of Honey, Martin Denny, is $9.99. You get. We'll put it in this one, but we'll need to put it in a new one. Yeah, we'll just set that aside right now. Taste of Honey, Martin Denny, is $9.99. A Taste of Honey, Martin Denny, $9.99. Deep Purple, Fireball, $32.99 for Deep Purple Fireball. That's on the green Warner Brothers label, gatefold. Looks like an OG, $32.99. And Dirt Band, Jealousy 81, $14.99. Actually, it's just called Jealousy, but they put 81 down there at the bottom, which I think is the release year, $14.99. Danzig 1, 3, and 4 would be great. Danzig albums, those are all out of print, and they're very difficult to get. Danzig 1 is obviously a rare album, self-titled, and then there's some bootleg copies of it out there. But we've had bootlegs before that we've got in collections. But other than that, we had one from that from the Austin Metal Collection we auctioned off, an original Danzig 1. But other than that, those are tough to find. Okay, next auction is Randy Travis, Always and Forever. Speaking of his records, or speaking of out-of-print records, this is one that hadn't been reissued in years. Has the original inner sleeve. Has several of his hits on it, including Forever and Ever, Amen. That's near mint. Very nice jacket as well. $25 start on Randy Travis. We always auction Randy. I can't believe no one did the buy it now on Stevie Nicks. a mint Japanese promo copy. Here's one of the first records we had on the, I think it was on the, I can't remember what I posted on Facebook. I honestly sometimes don't know because I make those at like 2 in the morning and then I schedule them to post at like 2 in the afternoon. And so they actually post automatically, and sometimes I can't even remember what I've posted. So this is Willie Nelson. This is my story. I had never seen this before. This is called Willie Nelson. This is my story, and it looks like a hits compilation. I see Crazy and Hello Walls. So yeah, very cool. It has an Obi with it. $35 start. $35 start on that. Randy Travis is a $25 start, and we have 3 people want the Stevie Nicks. We have Mark Quarum, Thomas Hujar, and Fred Carnell. We'll give that to Mark Quarum. He was first, and that's a $35 buy it now, Jake, and there's a sleeve for it. That is sold to Mark Quarum. Mark, it says he's in on Randy Travis at 25. Back to the bin. Jesus Christ Superstar. This is the soundtrack, and here you can see that we have the booklet with it as well. Jesus Christ Superstar is $19.99. Rubber Rodeo Scenic Views has some dinosaurs there on the cover. $19.99, Rubber Rodeo Scenic Views. And Rubber Bush, 1988 red vinyl, $24.99. Not familiar with Rubber Bush, $24.99. Shane Devers is at $26 on Randy Travis. Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen, as always, with the really cool artwork, $19.99. That's one you want to put on display in your record room. Check out that artwork. $19.99, Commander Cody. The Babies Union Jack is $19.99. The Babies Union Jack and Black Oak, Arkansas, their self-titled album, $19.99. Black Oak, Arkansas, $19.99. We have Wolves Council on CC, which is Commander Cody. That's sold to Wolves Council. And Thomas said Rubber Rod. We have Rubber Rodeo and Rubber Bush. Rubber Rodeo and Rubber Bush. Mark Quarum first on the Babies. So Wolves Council on Commander Cody. Next is Mark Quarum on the Babies. Randy Travis is at $26. Going once, going twice. No bid on Willie Nelson. He's a $35 start before I make him a buy it now. There Goes the Neighborhood. Joe Walsh. Near mint in shrink wrap. $19.99. And David Gates first. David Gates is $9.99. David Gates first. That's $9.99. David Gates, lead singer of Bread. Bread, speaking of them, Lost Without Your Love, $12.99. There he is. Very nice copy. Gatefold, $12.99. So David Gates and then Bread. The Bee Gees' Greatest is a 2LP compilation, $14.99. Jive Talking, You Should Be Dancing, Night Fever, Staying Alive, How Deep Is Your Love. That's all $14.99. So 2 more bids on Randy Travis. Mark was in first at 27. Paul Gill, you're out, and so is Shane Devers, and Jackie Reynolds wants Bread. We love Bread, and we're in the B's here. Bread and Bee Gees is sold to Ron Phillips. Bee Gees is sold to Ron Phillips. Paul Jackson, you were second. Rainbow, Down to Earth, a U.S. press. We usually only have these as Japanese. I see more Japanese pressings than I do U.S. Rainbow is $29.99. That's the OG label, 1979, red Polydor, with this original inner sleeve, $29.99 on Rainbow. Randy Travis, 28 and 28. Ricky Van Shelting, Living Proof, $24.99. We need somebody just to go ahead and bid $500 on Randy Travis, and we'll call it a night. We're at 27-27, 28-28. Elvis. This is one of the mini records that's called Elvis, and this was only sold through TV. RCA Special Products. You may have remembered, if you were alive during this era, this record was advertised on TV, and I think that's the only way you could bought it, is through that TV infomercial, commercials, whichever you want to call it. That's $19.99. We have whole boxes full of them, I think, in the back. So a lot of people bought a lot of them. Thomas Hujar on Rainbow. That's sold to Thomas Hujar. Regina Bread's already sold, but it does not have that song. That's either on, it wasn't on that album. I know for sure it's on their greatest hits. The Best of Black Oak, Arkansas, with this woman chugging some moonshine. This is $19.99 in shrink wrap. Original Atco label, $19.99 on the Best of Black Oak, Arkansas, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3, $19.99. So Shane Devers is the high bidder on Randy Travis at 28. Everybody else is out. I'm going to make Willie Nelson a $35 buy it now. It's a hits comp that I'd never had seen before. So that's a $35 buy it now. Near mint and pristine. Very nice cover. Insert an Obi as well if anybody wants that. New bidder on Randy Travis. Patty's at $29. Ringo Starr, Stop and Smell the Roses. $24.99 on Ringo Starr. And Black Sabbath, Mob Rules. $49.99. Very clean vinyl. $49.99. It is a OG. Thomas Hujar on Willie Nelson. Jake, that's a $35 buy it now to Thomas. Randy Travis, $29.29 and $30. I'm telling you, the first person who bids $50 is probably going to be the winner on that one. So, just saying. Pat Benatar, Get Nervous, $14.99. Pat Benatar, Get Nervous, $14.99 for Miss Benatar. And Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow, $19.99 on Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow. Today is Ringo's birthday, 83 years old. Let's see, Dennis Nelson on BS, and that's for Black Sabbath. Dennis Nelson gets Black Sabbath. Steppenwolf Monster is $19.99. Steppenwolf Monster, $19.99. And Cat Stevens Teaser and the Firecat, $14.99. Next, Japanese auction. Now, the other night I said, I was like, I hadn't had this in forever. And I think Jeff said, I bought one last week. And I know for sure we had one last week. And here's another one. But I just don't see it too often to be as popular as it is. Xanadu, featuring Olivia Newton-John and Electric Light Orchestra. This is a near mint Japanese soundtrack. Xanadu, there's the inner sleeve. There's the insert. This is the original inner sleeve. And a very, very nice cover with Obi. It's also a gatefold. $35 start. $35 start on Xanadu. And this is near mint all the way around. Vinyl, inner sleeve, insert cover, Obi, $35 start on that. Craig Johnson on Jeff Beck. We'll give that to Craig Johnson. Thank you. Randy Travis is at $35 with Shane Devers. Going once, going twice. $35 to Shane Devers. And Ron Phillips is at $35 on Xanadu. Warren Zevon, Bad Luck Streak and Dancing School. $34.99 for Warren Zevon. That has the original inner sleeve with it as well. $34.99. I've picked up two records. We'll show Triumph first. Triumph Progressions of Power. Triumph is $19.99. And we have Early in the Morning, Vanity Fair. And I think this has their hit song. It does. Hitchin' a Ride. Hitchin' a Ride. $19.99. Page 1. That's a very nice copy. $19.99. So Triumph and Vanity Fair, both $19.99. Hank Williams Jr., The Pressure Is On. This is a white label promo, gold stamp promo. $29.99. Mark Fallon on Early in the Morning. That's sold to Mark Fallon. And we have, I think everybody's out on Randy Travis. So Shane Devers has that for $35. Final call. And Xanadu's at $35. Final call. And first to Hank Williams Jr., it looks like was Shane Devers. He put HE, which usually autocorrects if you put HW. So Shane was first on that. Gideon, you were second, and Paul Gill was third. So that's sold to Shane Devers. The Johnny Van Zant Band, The Last of the Wild Ones, with hop sticker, includes It's You. $24.99 for Johnny Van Zant. Triumph is still available for $19.99. And Joe Walsh, But Seriously Folks. It does have a saw mark on it. $19.99. Looks exceptionally nice, though. Also a gatefold copy. $19.99. And Steve Walsh. Joe Walsh and Steve Walsh. This is Schemer Dreamer, and that's $14.99. $14.99. Let's sell these auctions. Shane Devers gets the Randy Travis for a $35 buy it now. That's sold to Shane Devers for $35. And Xanadu is sold, only one bidder on that, Ron Phillips for $35. Those are sold. Let me introduce a couple new auctions. We have, I'm just going right off the top of the stack. I'm not picking or choosing. I've got I think the 9 that I had on Facebook. If you need any sleeves, there's some sleeves. I got the 9 I had on Facebook just stacked up right over here. Man, this is nice. Rush Moving Pictures. A mint Japanese copy, as in the vinyl is, I mean, it looks like it's unplayed. A perfect copy. Rush Moving Pictures. It also has the original Japanese booklet with it, which is kind of like this tri-fold deal here. Very nice, as you can see. Super clean. And a beautiful cover with Obi. Now, I was going to say a $95 start, but that would be disrespectful to Rush and this album. So I'm going to say a $105 start on Rush Moving Pictures. And believe me, I'm in no hurry to sell it. So you don't have to bid if you don't want to. Feel free not to bid on it. But if you do want to bid, it's a $105 start. I don't get a lot of really good jazz Japanese titles, which I consider John Coltrane Quartet Ballads a really good Japanese pressing, or a really good jazz album, or high quality jazz. The good jazz everybody's looking for, especially if it's Coltrane, Miles Davis, anything in that ballpark. This is a mint and pristine Japanese pressing. We have the cover with the obi. It does have a little bit of discoloration right in here. Does have the obi. Very clean cover on the outside, and it has a Japanese insert with it. That's a $45 start. John Coltrane Quartet Ballads. That's a $45 start. Okay, and then the next claim out of here was Joe Sloop wants Steve Walsh. Joe Sloop on Steve Walsh. That's so to Joe Sloop. Steve Walsh. The Tubes is 1999. That's self-titled, The Tubes album. 1999, The Tubes, 1999, and Toronto, Girls Night Out. This is $14.99. It says in 3D. Does it have 3D glasses with it? I don't see any 3D glasses, but that's $14.99. Toronto, Girls Night Out, $14.99. Traffic When the Eagle Flies is $19.99. Traffic When the Eagle Flies, original inner sleeve, Steve Winwood, Traffic, $19.99. So these next two auctions is Rush, Moving Pictures, $105 start, and John Coltrane was a $45 start. Howie says you don't have to worry about me bidding on Rush. That's sad. You're only missing out on some of the greatest music ever recorded. Side one of Moving Pictures is some of the best music ever assembled on one side of an LP. It's just incredible. Pat Travers, Radioactive is $19.99. Pat Travers, Radioactive. Near Mint, very clean, $19.99 on Pat Travers, Radioactive. And Van Halen, Diver Down. Van Halen, Diver Down, $39.99. Has the original inner sleeve, super clean vinyl. Diver Down is $39.99. Vandenberg, Heading for a Storm. Vandenberg is $24.99. And Paul Jackson wants Pat Travers. And then, of course, this last claim here, Jake, was Joe Walsh, or Steve Walsh to Joe Sloop, and then Paul Jackson got Pat Travers. We have Tim Buck 3, Edge of Allegiance. This is $19.99. Tim Buck 3, Edge of Allegiance, $19.99. I will say, though, Rush is slightly controversial. I got a short little, what they call a short on YouTube. It's a Fly By Night. I posted it on YouTube. It's like a little, probably 15-second clip of Rush playing Fly By Night, or it's like a music video. It's had almost 80,000 views. Half the comments are people talking about how much they hate Rush, and the other half are people saying how much they're the greatest band of all time. So I will say Rush is actually quite controversial. If you get a video going with a lot of views, and I've clicked on a lot of other Rush videos, it's like a lot of hate and a lot of love. It's amazing. Most people are just like, I can't stand Geddy Lee, which kind of blows my mind. So, History of British Rock is $26.99. History of British Rock is $26.99. They're very polarizing. That's a good word to put it. $26.99. History of British Rock, $26.99. And Thunderclap Newman, Hollywood Dream, $26.99. $26.99. Let's see here. Make sure I hadn't missed any other claims. And The Best of Bread. This is Volume 2, $14.99. The Best of Bread, Volume 2. I like this one because it has Guitar Man on it. $14.99. $14.99. Okay, let me move these, and I'm going to put up two new auctions. So these are buy it nows. John Coltrane's a $45 buy it now, and Rush is a $105 buy it now. And you're under no obligation to buy it. Rush is a $105 buy it now, and Dave Plunkett wants Coltrane. That's so to Dave Plunkett. So that is a $45 buy it now to Dave Plunkett, Coltrane. I'll go ahead and put that in a sleeve for you, save you some time. Jake is my help tonight. It's me and Jake. We're probably going to run straight through. We have so much. I can't believe we're just on our first crate of vintage. Man, we got a lot of stuff to show. I've got 3 more crates of full new vinyl and 4 more crates of full vintage. Wow. So that's a $45 buy it now to Dave Plunkett. And then after that was Jackie Reynolds on bread. Jackie Reynolds gets the Best of Bread Volume 2. And let's see, Craig Johnson on JC. JC was, I guess that was John Coltrane. So Craig, you were second on that. British Rock is a 2 LP. Triumph album and price. Progressions of Power is still available. $19.99, Progressions of Power. And let me put away Rush very gently. This piece of art. Let me put this historical artifact right over here. That's a $105 buy now. I do have another Rush Japanese pressing that we've shown before. I'll put that up in just a second. But in the meantime, we've got 2 more classics right over here. We have Born Under a Bad Sign, which is a Japanese pressing. Wow. A Japanese pressing of Born Under a Bad Sign. I think y'all know how difficult this is to find. Born Under a Bad Sign. The original U.S. pressings are like impossible. Albert King, Born Under a Bad Sign. This is a mint Japanese pressing. I gave it a play last night too. So clean, so quiet. Born Under a Bad Sign. There's the Japanese insert. And here's the cover. Very nice. Of course, unfortunately, it doesn't have an obi. If it did, it would exponentially increase it. We're going to start this at $45. Albert King, Born Under a Bad Sign. We had some kind of like record store day, or not maybe record store day, but a craft repressing of that for auction that came in a collection not too long ago, and it wasn't cheap. John Coltrane, My Favorite Things. Another mint Japanese pressing of John Coltrane, My Favorite Things. My Favorite Things. This is got the Japanese insert with it, and very nice cover. Has 1 corner ding, nice obi. $45 start on that. $45 start on that. All right, let me go up to the top, make sure I didn't miss anything. Regina, that Bread album didn't have that song, but it had already sold too. Fred Carnell on British Rock. Fred Carnell on British Rock. We have, yes, this is near mint. Very nice cover too. Just some minor shelf wear, but the vinyl is near mint. Yes, Arm Lizelle. I put that in the wrong pile. That was Jackie Reynolds. This is Fred Carnell's. Mike Cochran's at $45 on Albert King. Thomas is at $45. Mike's at $50. We have a $95 offer on Rush. Let me think about that. And John Coltrane's at $45. Arm Lizelle does want Triumph. Okay, Eddie. Arm Lizelle had just bought Triumph. T for the Tillerman. Cat Stevens. EX Condition, $12.99. Black Sabbath is $44.99. This is a NIMS pressing. $44.99. Black Sabbath, that is $44.99. That's a NIMS pressing. $44.99. That is a NIMS pressing. $44.99. $44.99. And that's a near mint NIMS pressing. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's go through these right here. Okay. Very, very good start with our vintage bin. Those are half gone, and we'll go through some more in just a second. I've got 5 more crates to go through just like that. Okay, so John Coltrane does have a bid for $45, and Albert King is at $50 with Mike Cochran. So $45 and $50, and that is Rush Moving Pictures. Okay, one more time on here. We have Ricky Van Shelton, Wild Eyed Dreams, Climax Blues Band, Gold Plated, Black Oak, Race with the Devil, CCR, Willie and the Poor Boys, A Taste of Honey, Martin Denny, Deep Purple, Fireball, Dirt Band, Jealousy, Jesus Christ Superstar, Rubber Rodeo, Rubber Bush, Black Oak, Arkansas, Joe Walsh, There Goes the Neighborhood, David Gates, Ricky Van Shelton, Elvis, The Best of Black Oak, Arkansas, Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3, Ringo Starr, Stop and Smell the Roses, Pat Benatar, Get Nervous, Steppenwolf, Monster, Cat Stevens, Teaser and the Firecat, Bad Luck Streak and Dancing School, Johnny Van Zant, Joe Walsh, The Tubes, Toronto, Traffic, Van Halen, Vandenberg, Timbuk 3, Hollywood Newman, Thunderclap Newman, Hollywood Dream, I was about to say that didn't sound right, Cat Stevens, and then Black Sabbath. So NIMS is basically a repressing from Holland. It's a vintage pressing. It's very clean. It's near mint, but it's there is a lot of these pressed in Holland, and this is $44.99. $44.99. Okay, let me get up on our bids. John Coltrane is $46.99. $54.55 on Albert King. $48 on John Coltrane. Albert King $57, and we have a couple people out. Did your moving pictures have the Anthem logo on the label on both sides? Trying to determine the press. This has, actually, it's an Epic. So it's on Epic. Interesting. I don't see any. Let's see, what was the question? Anthem logo. No, I don't see any logos. No, no Anthem logos on this one for sure. It's on a black Epic label. Okay. Set that aside. Let's go through our next creative new vintage. If anybody decides you want any information or pricing or questions on anything in there, just let me know. I'm going to go ahead and grab our next crate, which is going to be, let's go through this one. I don't know which is the next quote best, but we're going to go, we have to go through them all eventually. So probably go vintage new until we can go through all of these. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got going on in the comments? A question about mint. I think I say mint a lot with these Japanese pressings. I think y'all know what I mean by that. So I say it's a mint pristine Japanese pressing. What that means is it looks like this. Let me show you what I call a mint pristine Japanese pressing. Looks like this, which is not mint by technical gold mine record grading definitions. That would technically be near mint minus. So, right? I get in the habit of saying mint pristine. Near mint minus is the technical for those with the, you know, like your dictionaries out. Near mint minus on both of these. So, okay, we have Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, Texas Flood, $69.99. This is the 2LP 45 RPM, $69.99. This is the 45 RPM Texas Flood from Analog Productions. Jerry Rafferty and Steelers Will Collected. That's music on vinyl, $44.99. That's like a Jerry Rafferty's Greatest Hits and a Steelers Will Greatest Hits, $44.99. There was somebody on a waiting list for that. The person on the waiting list for that was Paul Brothers. Paul Brothers, this is $44.99. Jerry Rafferty and Steelers Will Collected, $44.99. I've kind of have my own grading system. I think I've said that before, where we show so many records so quickly. Basically, I think y'all know what I mean now if I say near mint and pristine. It's pretty much flawless looking on this Japanese stuff. Everything else I try to be pretty specific on, especially if we ever bring out anything USOG that is high end. But if I say it's near mint and pristine, when you pull out these Japanese pressings, it's not going to have a mark on it. Pretty much no visible marks. So that's what I mean when I say mint and pristine, which mint and pristine can also equal near mint minus. I think that's one and the same. John Stites on Jerry Rafferty. John Stites on Jerry Rafferty. That's so to John Stites. And I have a lot. As you notice, there's a couple left in the other bin. I've got several of the Stevie Ray Vaughan Analog Productions back in stock. This is Couldn't Stand the Weather. Some are 33, some are 45. Couldn't Stand the Weather is a 45 RPM. That is new and sealed, $69.99. The Dandy Warhols, Welcome to the Monkey House. New release for music on vinyl, $38.99 for the Dandy Warhols, $38.99 for the Dandy Warhols. New reissue from music on vinyl. And we have Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, Soul to Soul. This is $69.99. Soul to Soul, there's another one. I think we got most of them in stock now. 45 RPM, $69.99. Let me give an update on our auction. We have John Coltrane, My Favorite Things, up for auction. It's a Japanese press. Dave Plunkett is at $48. That one is pristine, $48. Dave Plunkett, final call, and then Thomas Hujar on the Japanese pressing of Albert King, Born Under. I love this cover. So simple, yet you know what it means. Born Under a Bad Sign, Bad Luck, Snake Eyes, Ace of Spades, Friday the 13th. And the high bidder on that is Thomas Hujar at 57. 57 on that. And we have, let's see, I think we're back down. I don't think I have any new claims. John Stott's got Jerry Rafferty. And we have Casey and the Sunshine Band, $36.99. There's pretty much nothing in print by Casey and the Sunshine Band except this, and it's been out of stock for a long time. That is $36.99. $36.99 for Casey and the Sunshine Band. Great track listing on this one too. That's the way I like it. Get Down Tonight and Boogie Shoes all on side one. That's new restock from Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab, and I've got 10 of them, $36.99. I'm definitely going to keep one myself. $36.99 for Casey and the Sunshine Band. So not a great, or not a bad price is what I meant to say for a new sealed record, much less a MoFi pressing. Casey and the Sunshine Band, $36.99. Another Stevie Ray Vaughan in step. This is $49.99, or I should say another Analog Productions, $49.99 for Stevie Ray Vaughan in step. And we have a very special Christmas, $36.99, a very special Christmas, 15 Christmas classics, new and sealed, $36.99. All right, Jake, I'm going to sell these auctions. John Coltrane is sold to Dave Plunkett for $48, and we have Albert King. Albert King is sold to Thomas Hujar for $57. So $57 on this one, and Dave Plunkett got the John Coltrane for $48. Paul Jackson wants In Step. Paul Jackson gets In Step. That is this one. That's sold to Paul Jackson. And we have Dennis Nelson on Casey and the Sunshine Band. You Don't Strike Me a Disco Fan. This album is incredible. This side right here, those are great songs. Get Down Tonight. Dennis Nelson gets one. I have plenty left, as you can see. Another new Miles Davis restock, Roundabout Midnight, $46.99. Miles Davis, Roundabout Midnight, $46.99. New and sealed from Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. Overkill, WFO. Overkill is the classic album, half-speed mastered and pressed on clear marbled vinyl. This is $33.99. $33.99 on Overkill, WFO, $33.99. That's new and sealed, half-speed master on colored vinyl. Okay, let's bring out our next two auctions, which are what? Let's do the Rush Permanent Waves, and we'll do Top Gun. So Rush Permanent Waves, I have here on the back. I know at one time we had this on Discogs. We sold a MoFi pressing. We sold a MoFi pressing of Ziggy Stardust last night on Discogs to a customer here, Craig Johnson. So we sold that to Craig, and I was going through our inventory, and I saw a couple things. I was like, I'm going to pull a couple things off, try them on auction tonight. If they don't sell, I'll put them back live active on Discogs. And here was one of them, Rush Permanent Waves. This is a near mint and pristine Japanese pressing. $85 start. $85 start on Permanent Waves. So the Spirit of Radio also has the inserts with it. It should. Yep, right here. There's the lyric booklet or Japanese insert. And the cover has some like discoloration marks that's kind of swirled there on the cover. It almost blends in with that sky looking scene. Of course, it does have the Obi. And let's see if we can see what's on the newspaper. The newspaper says Dewey defeats Truman. You can barely see it, but that's what the newspaper says. That's an $85 start on Rush Permanent Waves. Japanese pressing. It's mint. I have listened to that a couple times. Now, this is not vinyl. This is a laser disc. I thought it was really cool though. I was scrolling through some laser disc last night, and this was like, I saw this and I was like, whoa, I've never seen that cover before. We got a big stack of them. We have a big stack of them in the back, all kinds of really cool laser disc, and this is actually a Japanese press. So it does have this 2-page insert with it. The Obi is kind of like this. It don't really load, it doesn't have a wraparound, it just kind of slides on the side. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool for any Top Gun fan. So that's obviously not vinyl. Do not try to put this on your turntable, but definitely an alternate cover from the soundtrack. Very cool, if anything, to display. And that's also a $35 start. Japanese laser disc of Top Gun, $35 start on that. And Rush is an $85 start. Prince, Purple Rain, $31.99 for Purple Rain. Wham, the singles, Echoes from the Edge of Heaven. Wham is $46.99. Echoes from the Edge of Heaven, $46.99. Dwight Yoakam, Austin City Limits, live from Austin, Texas. Dwight Yoakam, $36.99. And Prince, The Gold Experience. I've been posting several Prince pre-orders. I think the last time we had this, we sold out, and I forgot to restock it. So there's Prince, The Gold Experience, $38.99. And we did not have a copy anywhere in the store of Purple Rain. So that is $31.99. That also includes a poster. Cake, Fashion Nugget. Cake is $31.99, new and sealed, featuring The Distance and Frank Sinatra. Haven't had those around in a while. Cake is $31.99. And we did get more of the Beach Boys Pet Sounds. The Beach Boys Pet Sounds is in mono. That is a mono remaster, $33.99 for the Beach Boys Pet Sounds. James Bragg first on Cake. We're going to sell that to James Bragg. We got 3 of the Beach Boys Pet Sounds. Promise. I don't know if I've ever had this one or I haven't had it in a long time. That is Tales from the Punch Bowl. Tales from the Punch Bowl, $34.99. Chris Farrar, Miles Midnight. Yeah, let me go back up to the top. I may have missed a comment. I did. Chris Farrar wants the Miles Davis Around Midnight. So we'll put that on top of the Cake. That's sold to Chris Farrar. He just claimed it again. And then James Bragg wants Promise. If anybody else wants one of those, let me know. I'll put you on a waiting list for next week. Tales from the Punch Bowl. Promise is $34.99. This is The Very Best of Electric Light Orchestra, $36.99, all over the world. $36.99, 2LP, Best of ELO, and The Very Best of Crowded House. That's a 2LP, Best of Crowded House, $36.99. And let me show these first. Chris Cornell, Patience, Record Store Day Black Friday on white vinyl, $16.99. And Incubus, Make Yourself. So after all the demand for the Incubus auctions the other night, I went through. I didn't order the music on vinyl through their main label, which I guess is just Legacy. I've got most of the Incubus catalog tonight. They're new and sealed 2 LPs. This one's $39.99. Make Yourself, $39.99. So music on vinyl are about they're almost $20 more, I think, if I were to order those. So I figured for $20, I would just keep these in stock. So Incubus is $39.99. Chris Cornell is $16.99. I have sold a lot of these. I don't know what's up with it, but I will say a lot of this Record Store Day stuff, eventually, if they have a lot in stock, maybe, I guess they just let me have it. I have not been approved yet for Record Store Day. So I don't carry Record Store Day stuff, but eventually we can get it one way or another. They eventually repress it on a different color, or they have it in stock and they go ahead and let us have it anyway. So Kenny Cates Jr. got Chris Cornell, and Carol Seeley Wham is $46.99. That's the singles, Echoes from the Edge of Heaven. Just like the Randy Savage record, I've got word that they're repressing that. I've seen several people pick one up today because I think people are selling their purple copy, because I saw where they are going to reissue that to everybody else on colored vinyl. So I hope nobody's paid an outrageous amount for your Randy Savage record, because they are repressing it. They're going to do that. So just FYI. George Ellis on Incubus. That's sold to George Ellis. And Jeff Johnson's at $35 on Top Gun. Okay, so we'll do a final call. And Jeff, just so you know, anybody that bids on these, I just want to remind you this is a laser disc and not vinyl. That is $35 for Top Gun. $35 for Top Gun. Final call on that. Did we pull the 45? Yeah, Jake, the 45 is right there for Kenny Cates. Incubus is sold to George Ellis. And let's run through those one more time. Let's go ahead and make Rush a buy it now. Rush is a $85 buy it now. Rush is an $85 buy it now for Permanent Waves. Permanent Waves. Yes, Randy Savage, Rappin' Rodney or something like that. Rappin' Rodney Savage. I know Doug was trying to get one. He's a major wrestling fan and obviously a record collector, and he didn't have much luck. So it was heavily allocated. So I've always told people just be patient on Record Store Day. Maybe they'll approve us for the fall, but I don't think we have been. So I guess we'll just never be on Record Store Day, which is okay with me. After you leave Nashville and you're heading east, we're pretty much the only place that has a selection of records until you get to Cookeville. So there's like an hour's drive there down I-40, the busiest corridor in probably the country, I guess, coast to coast, and we're the only record store. So, but there's a couple things going bad for us. We also deal in antiques and collectibles, especially coins and gold and silver and baseball cards and comic books and posters and stuff that I never even talk about here that we sell every day. So that is, that's the only, I guess that's the only reason we're being turned down. So, okay, let's go back up to the top, make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's see. And we have, let's go here. First is Stevie Ray Vaughan. Cookeville, that's Gavin. He's probably watching right now. He has a store inside of the Highway 111 flea market. He's open on the weekends. He's open on the weekends. Let's go ahead and sell Jeff Johnson, Top Gun. I think that's, I think when's the 111 flea market? Saturday and Sundays. All right, Stevie Ray Vaughan is $69.99. So let me go through this crate one more time. $69.99 on Texas Flood. We have Couldn't Stand the Weather, also Analog Productions. The Dandy Warhols. We have Stevie Ray Vaughan, Soul to Soul. We have several copies of KC and the Sunshine Band. A Very Special Christmas. Miles Davis, Around Midnight. WFO, Overkill. Purple Rain. Wham. Dwight Yoakam. We have Prince, The Gold Experience, Cake, Fashion Nugget, Beach Boys, Pet Sounds, ELO, Crowded House, and Incubus. Okay, and Craig Johnson says he'll take a copy of Couldn't Stand the Weather. That is right here. That's sold to Craig Johnson. And if Pet Sounds is mono, I'd like a copy. It is in mono, and that is sold to Hendry. C. William Pop wants Incubus. That was the last copy we have of that one. And let's go through that. I feel like I skipped over some stuff. Crowded House, ELO, Beach Boys, Pet Sounds, Cake, Prince, Dwight Yoakam, Wham, Purple Rain, Overkill, Miles Davis, Very Special Christmas, KC and the Sunshine Band, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Dandy Warhols, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. So, Stevie Ray Vaughan. They don't like the internet. Yeah, pretty much. I've told people before, we have a store that's open 7 days a week here, but we're pretty much an online business, so that might be one reason they hadn't did the final approval. We're pretty much an online business. The store is open, so people can come in here and pick up records, essentially. That's why a lot of times the doors are open. Pretty much so people can come in and pick up records. If we didn't have so many faithful locals picking up records like y'all do every day that come by and pick up records on your way home or after work, we probably wouldn't have a storefront at all. We would just be strictly online. So, in my opinion, it's that's the only reason why we're open. So, the Dandy Warhols is $38.99. If we didn't have so many locals coming in and picking up their orders, or coming in and shopping as well, we have a lot of people who, you know, they watch online but they come in and shop. We probably wouldn't be open. We would just be online, just have a big warehouse. So. Next crate of vintage, which is check condition. How much is Fandy? What is Fandy, or do you mean Randy? Dandy Warhols is $38.99. Dandy Warhols is $38.99. Colin says we're a fascinating place. Thank you. If I had more time, this place would look even more different. I would have it even better decorated. But that's what I do at nights a lot of times, is try to just decorate the store. So make it look really cool. But it's very time consuming. Okay, Street Survivors, Leonard Skinner. Next crate is new check condition. VG Plus $22.99. Leonard Skinner Street Survivors. So this next crate is new vintage arrivals. This is Leonard Skinner Street Survivors. Let me put up our next auction, which is going to be this very tough to get Stevie Ray Vaughan. Let me find it over here. And then I'm going to offer this David Bowie as well. So let's do these next two. Make sure I got my chat pulled back up. Let me reset my chat. And Chris, I was on my way to get it. Stacy says, I like to decorate. I do too. I like making my shop look nice. I have so much stuff in the back that I've never even touched that needs to kind of be out on display. So here we go. This is not too easy to get. It's called Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble Greatest Hits. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble Greatest Hits. This is a $65 start. It is near mint and pristine. We have cleaned it and we've put it in a new anti-static. And this was released in where? This was released in Holland. This is Holland. It's near mint and pristine. Never had this before. If I have, I don't really remember it. This is $65 start. $65 start. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble Greatest Hits. $65 start on that. A man of words, a man of music, David Bowie. Now, I've had this before. Here's the original price, $299.99. It's a 1969 U.S. press. I was going to put it up for auction at a much reduced price because Paul listed it on Discogs, and then I saw it on there, and I was like, let's pull it off. I'm going to offer it for pretty much the same price here. And if not, I'd rather just keep it here in the store on display. It's such a hard David Bowie record to get. A man of words, a man of music. So what's incredible about it is it's a beautiful copy. It is near mint minus EX plus, right on that borderline, especially for what it is. It's a top copy on the vinyl. Really nice jacket. Just has one little flaw. Somebody wrote their name right on his cheek. If that wasn't there, I feel like I would have already sold it for north of $250, or I probably would have kept it myself. But just one little flaw right there. Seibert wrote his name on David Bowie's cheek. I'm going to put it up for $150 start, and that's my best price on it. So that's what it takes to get it started. If no one bids, you might get lucky and get the bite for that. If not, then I think I'm going to put it over here next to my Butcher cover, which is a record I have priced here in the store that I really don't want to sell. And if somebody buys it, that's great. If you don't want to buy it, A-okay, kind of like Rush Moving Pictures. I pulled a couple things out tonight that's like, I hadn't shown them in a while. If you want to buy them, that's fine, but they're also very desirable records, and I'm in no hurry to sell them. So that was Red Mercury label. All right, so final call on Stevie Ray Vaughan, $65. Leonard Skinner was VG Plus, $22.99. Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms. That's a VG copy, $14.99. Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms. Todd Rundgren presents the ever-popular Tortured Artist Effect. EX Condition, $17.99. That is EX Condition, $17.99. That has Bang on the Drum All Day. Cheap Trick, The Doctor. Cheap Trick, The Doctor. This is EX, $17.99, gold stamp promo. 4 bids now on Stevie Ray Vaughan. 65, 65, 65, and Brian Miller's at 66. Cheap Trick in color, a VG copy, $9.99. Cheap Trick in color. John Lill first to Cheap Trick. I have a feeling John Lill wants The Doctor. John, let me know if that's correct. If not, let me know. Brian Tyler, you're second. You was either after The Doctor or you can have in color. Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Daylight Again. VG Plus, $17.99. This has a couple of great tracks on it, including Southern Cross and Wasted on the Way. VG Plus, $17.99 on Crosby, Stills, and Nash. John Lill said yes, he wants The Doctor. The Free Will and Bob Dylan, VG Plus, $24.99. This is a reissue. VG Plus, $24.99, probably from the late 70s. VG Plus, $24.99. And Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits, a VG copy, $14.99. Original label, stereo, VG, $14.99. Brian also wanted The Doctor. Stevie Ray Vaughan, 66, 69, 70, and now 71. The Doobie Brothers, The Captain and Me, that's EX Condition, $12.99. And Thomas Dolby, The Golden Age of Wireless, EX copy, $22.99. The Golden Age of Wireless, EX copy, $22.99. Neil Young, Comes a Time, is VG Plus, $24.99. Neil Young, Comes a Time, VG Plus, $24.99. Make sure I didn't miss anything in the comments. Let me scroll back up. Let's see. Hope you keep a store. I enjoy it. Oh, I'll definitely. We're going to be here. Our actual storefront, yeah, we're going to be here a while. So we actually just bought this building, and we're going to be here a while, especially for a storefront. So no poster and Bob Dylan. Neil Young, After the Gold Rush, that's a VG copy, $14.99. The Doors' Greatest Hits is a VG Plus, $24.99. That has the original inner sleeve with it. VG Plus, $24.99. And I Stand Alone, Al Kooper. This is a VG copy, $9.99. John Smetzer on The Doors. That's sold to John Smetzer. And Bruce Springsteen, Greetings from Asbury Park. VG Plus condition on that one, $14.99. So once again, I want to remind everybody on the David Bowie, Man of Words, Man of Music, that's a $150 start if anybody wants in. If not, it's going to be a buy it now in just a second. And Stevie Ray Vaughan is now at 72 with Michael Nath, now 73 and now 75. John Smetzer got The Doors. Craig said he'll be right back. And Scotty Hypes wants Neil Young. I'm assuming, Scotty, you wanted after the Gold Rush. That's the one I'm going to give you. So, New Riders, The Adventures of Panama Red is a VG copy, $9.99. New Riders of the Purple Sage, The Adventures of Panama Red, VG, $9.99. Jesse Hood needs to put back 4 and 4. Jake, if you could just make a sticky note of that. It's just me and Jake tonight, so we can't do a lot of putbacks or swaps, but we will make a note. And Jesse, if you could also message the page, that way Tanner can see it, he will probably take care of that. We do have a bid on Bowie. Great. Pamela's at 150. It's kind of a love-hate bid, Pamela. I'm like, well, I'm glad we finally found the home for it, but also I hate to see it go. My Bowie collection consists of about 2 milk crates, and I don't think I have a copy of this one, but I am pretty selective about what I keep in the Bowie collection. At one time, I had about 4 crates of David Bowie stuff, and I thinned it down to 2. And I think at one time I had a copy of this, but now if I decide if I'm going to keep a David Bowie album, it's almost like I've got spoiled with all this shrink wrap and hop sticker stuff. So it's like, but trying to find one of those will be a challenge. And I'll probably have to pay, if I probably get the copy I really want of this, it's going to not be cheap at all. So Pamela's at 150 on that one, and that's going once, going twice. Stevie Ray Vaughan's at 77. Jesse said he'll take the Rush for $105. Man, y'all are wiping out all the stuff I didn't want to sell. That's sold to Jesse Hood for $105. Let me put that in a sleeve for you, Jake. $105 to Jesse Hood. Thank you. And this sounds incredible. This sounds absolutely incredible, Jesse. So that's sold to Jesse for $105. David Bowie's at $155. So was John Young. So Jesse got Rush 105. Stevie Ray Vaughan's at 78. Now 80. 81. David Bowie, we got 2 bids at $155. Let's see here. Chris Cornell Patience is $16.99. That is his cover of Guns N' Roses' Patience, and also Nothing Compares to You live at SiriusXM. That's on white vinyl, $16.99. Jesse, that Japanese pressing of Moving Pictures has high fidelity on it. It sounds really, really good. Okay, so we got 3 bidders now on David Bowie. We'll go back to that just a second, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Huey Lewis and the News Sports is a VG copy, $9.99. Huey Lewis Sports, VG copy, $9.99. And we have Derek and the Dominoes in concert, VG Plus, $24.99. Eric Clapton, Derek and the Dominoes in concert, VG Plus, $24.99. Brent Robley wants Chris Cornell. Let me make sure Fred Carnell doesn't want one. If Fred Carnell wants one, then it's his. If not, then Brent, we can put you on a waiting list. I may have more over here. I may have more of those, but that's sold right now to Brent unless Fred wants it. Boston, Third Stage, EX $32.99. If you're just hopping on, we're only in our 2nd crate of new vintage stuff tonight. Only in our 2nd crate of new vintage stuff tonight. We've got 3 more after this, and we're in a bin of check condition, new vintage arrivals. Great stuff in here. EX $32.99. EX $32.99. John Denver, Farewell Andromeda. John Denver is EX $12.99 on John Denver, Farewell Andromeda, EX $12.99. And Charlie Daniels, Saddle Tramp, EX $22.99. Charlie Daniels, Saddle Tramp, EX $22.99. Stevie Ray Vaughan's Greatest Hits. 85 with Brent, 86 with Chris DeMoss. Chris was at 86. David Bowie, 160, 165, and 160 again. And then we had a question, how much for Boston? Boston was EX, $32.99. Chris Vargas, if you don't want it, then it's sold to Mark Querom. So just let me know on that, Chris. We have Bob Dylan, Empire Burlesque.
That's a VG copy, $14.99 for Bob Dylan's Empire Burlesque. And Bob Dylan Street Legal, EX condition on that one, $32.99. EX $32.99. Joe Cocker, with a little help from my friends, a classic, also EX condition, $32.99. First track is Feeling All Right. So, we'll go ahead and tag Brent Robley with the Chris Cornell. So that goes to Brent. And Boston is sold to Mark Querum. He says he'll take that. Let's update our auction since Bowie has now several new people on. Bowie is 1969, a man of words, very clean vinyl, super nice. First track is Space Oddity, Ground Control to Major Tom. The matrix reads SR61246-A-M2. It also has an MR over here, very tiny on the side. It is a 1969 U.S. press. And like I said, I do think this is a, if you could somehow get that to go away, I still think this is a $300 album just based on the condition and rarity. I mean, awesome jacket too. But right now, the high bid is at $165 with Jeff McMaster. $165 on Jeff McMaster. Now, the Stevie Ray Vaughan is called Greatest Hits, and this is something I don't think we've ever had before. It's a 1995, I think. 1995 or 1996. 1995 or 1996 Holland, and the high bid on that was Krista Moss at $86. $86 on that. And we had a question about Chris Cornell. Are you able to get Chris Cornell? No One Sings Like a Mute. It covers. Yes. I haven't had that in a while, but yes, I can get it. I probably do need to order a couple of those. Craig Johnson on Joe Cocker. That's sold to Craig Johnson. And Pamela's at $170 on David Bowie. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Works is VG plus $24.99. Emerson, Lake and Palmer Works, VG plus $24.99. Leonard Skinner, One More From the Road. Leonard Skinner, One More From the Road, VG plus $24.99. And Leonard Skinner, Nothing Fancy, a VG copy, $14.99. VG copy, $14.99. Leonard Skinner, Nothing Fancy. Hank Williams, Seniors, Greatest Hits, VG plus $14.99. See, David Bowie, $173. Pamela, you're first on LS. There were two Leonard Skinners back to back. Let me know if you want One More From the Road or Nothing Fancy, or you can have both of them. And we'll go ahead first and tag Paul Jackson with Emerson, Lake and Palmer. We'll give that first to Paul Jackson, and then we'll figure out which ones Pamela wants. So it looks like Krista Moss is going to end up with the Stevie Ray Vaughan 15-second warning, $86. And Pamela wants One More From the Road. So that's sold to Pamela. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. What year, and does it have the inner sleeve? Crosby, Stills, and Nash, that was shown earlier, wasn't it? That was Daylight Again. Should be, let's see, should be 82. Has the original inner sleeve. VG plus condition, $17.99. Pamela's in on Stevie Ray Vaughan at $90, and Jeff McMaster is in at $173 on David Bowie. I need a drink of water. Thank you for allowing me to have a drink of water. John Smetzer said sold on Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Chris is back in on Stevie Ray Vaughan, and Pamela's back in on David Bowie. Foreigner, Head Games. That's a VG copy for $9.99. Foreigner, Head Games. And Peter Frampton, VG plus condition, $14.99. Humble Pie, Go for the Throat. EX condition, $17.99. Classic Yes is EX $17.99 for Classic Yes. I'm looking for the 45. It has no bonus 45 with it. EX condition, $17.99. Randy Scarborough said sold on Humble Pie. That's sold to Randy Scarborough. The Scorpions, Blackout. VG plus $24.99. VG plus $24.99 on Scorpions, Blackout. No One Like You. VG plus $24.99. The Who, Who's Next? VG plus as well. $14.99 for this one. MCA Sky Rainbow label. James Rayner first on Scorpions. Dennis Nelson, you were second. And Pamela's back in on Bowie at $180. So Pamela, you're out now on Stevie Ray Vaughan, but you're back in on David Bowie. Now she's back in on Stevie Ray Vaughan. Boy, there's a couple people going back and forth on both of those. Right back and forth. Joe Walsh, the smoker you drink, the player you get. That's VG Plus $14.99. And Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. VG Plus condition $24.99. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. VG Plus $24.99. Yes, Fragile is a VG Plus $14.99. That's a gatefold classic Yes album. VG Plus $14.99. Stevie Ray Vaughan 95. Stevie Ray Vaughan 100. David Bowie 185. Michael Nath on Joe Walsh. Chuck, you were second on Joe Walsh. Still crazy after all these years. Paul Simon, VG Plus condition, $14.99. The Mamas and Papas Deliver with hype sticker. Actually, that's just made on the cover. Dedicated to the one I love. VG Plus $14.99. VG Plus also has their cover of My Girl on it. Look Through My Window. VG Plus $14.99. Gary Wright, a classic. The Dreamweaver. VG Plus $14.99. VG Plus $14.99. Jake changed Joe Walsh from Michael Nath to Chuck Kachira. Sell that to Chuck instead of Michael Nath. Next is Stevie Ray Vaughan at 102. Rachel Christopher on Mamas and Papas. Rachel, are you a first-time buyer with us? If so, thank you and welcome. I may have sold to you before, but I know I don't say your name too often. So if you're a first-time buyer, let me know, and I'll give you some instructions along with anybody else that may be watching. Chris is back in on Stevie Ray Vaughan at 103. Randy Scarborough wants the Gary Wright. Jeff McIntosh was second, and Gary Samuels was third. First-time buyer, thank you and welcome. Quick instructions. I need you to send us a Facebook page. Let me restart. I got tongue twisted. Or I got mind twisted. It happens quite often. Send our Facebook page, CollectCo, a message with your email address and your mailing address. Here's how things work. We do this 6 nights a week. We do $7 in limited shipping. So if you tune in on Monday, if you tune in on Friday, whatever days you can tune in, as much as you want to buy for $7 in limited shipping. And that's a week-to-week charge. So if you buy 50 records tonight, they ship for $7. If you buy one record this week, it's $7. And if you buy another record next week, it's $7. $7 in limited shipping, week to week. We're live tonight, and we're doing this again tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Once again, all new arrivals, all new auctions, all new Japanese stuff, and all new vinyl. We do that every night. We have a lot of new vinyl. In my opinion, one of the better selections in this area. And that's all I do is order new vinyl, it seems like. I spent hours on there last night. Jailbreak, Thin Lizzy. Jailbreak, Thin Lizzy. This is a VG Plus copy, $24.99. We had a copy of that last night. Master disc in the dead wax, always a good sign. VG Plus $24.99. And James Gang Straight Shooter. James Gang Straight Shooter, VG copy, $9.99. Okay, where are we at on David Bowie? I have Jeff McMaster at $185 on David Bowie. Jeff McMaster at $185 on David Bowie. That's going once, going twice. Stevie Ray Vaughan. No, Pamela bid $187. Pamela's at $187 on David Bowie. Pamela was at $110 on Stevie Ray Vaughan. David Bowie's at $189 with Jeff McMaster. What was the price on Yes Fragile? That was VG Plus condition, $14.99. Kelly Cook wants Thin Lizzy. Jailbreak, Thin Lizzy. That's sold to Kelly Cook. Mark Lent wants C for, maybe that was a miscue, and Ben wants James Gang. Ben wants James Gang. So we'll make sure Mark didn't want something that started with C, but Kelly Cook got Thin Lizzy, and Ben got James Gang. Foreigner self-titled, VG condition, $9.99 on Foreigner self-titled. Nina Simone, wow, Forbidden Fruit on Colpix Records, a VG copy, $24.99. Nina Simone, how cool. VG condition, $24.99. Forbidden Fruit. Paul Jackson says he'll take the Yes Fragile. That's sold to Paul Jackson. And we have Bob Welch, French Kiss. VG Plus condition, $12.99. I think we had a copy of that last night. I was reading off some of these great hits like Sentimental Lady, VG Plus $12.99. Michael Nath on Nina Simone and Paul Jackson on Foreigner. Those are all sold. and Darren Meyer on Bob Welch. So let me read through those one more time. That was a flurry of comments. It started on Thin Lizzy with Kelly Cook. Ben got the James Gang. Paul Jackson got Yes Fragile. Michael Nath got Nina Simone. Paul Jackson got Foreigner. And Darren Meyer got Bob Welch, who was a former member of Fleetwood Mac. David Bowie just hit the $200 mark with Brent Robley. And Stevie Ray Vaughan is at 111 with Krista Moss. 111 with Krista Moss, so we're still bidding on that. David Bowie's now at 220. We have Steely Dan, Katie Lied, a VG Plus condition, $24.99. Katie Lied. For some reason, probably shows up the least of all the Steely Dan records. Katie Lied. That sold to Craig Johnson, hence why it sold so quickly. That sold to Craig Johnson. Pamela was second. Countdown to Ecstasy. If you want this one, please comment Countdown. That will save a lot of time. This is EX Condition, $32.99. EX Condition, $32.99. Steely Dan's second album. How about some Ray Charles, Modern Sounds in Country and Western Music? VG Plus, $14.99. And we have Steely Dan, Asia. This is a VG Condition, $14.99. VG Condition, $14.99. And Pamela wants Countdown. That's sold to Pamela Yeager, Countdown to Ecstasy. Okay, and Pamela wants Asia. All three Steely Dan sold. Okay, so we have Pamela. So the last three there was Craig got Katie Lied, Steely Dan. Pamela got Countdown, and Pamela got Asia. Pamela, could you let me know if you're in or out on Stevie Ray Vaughan? Krista Moss has that for $111, and that's a final call. So if Pamela says out, you might want to bid on that because I'm going to wrap it up very quickly to Chris. And then David Bowie looks like we was at 2, and then 220, and Pamela's at 115. Do you have Fleetwood Mac self-titled? I don't think I do. VG Plus $14.99. I do need to order the UHQRs. Yes, I can get those through my main Audiophile distributor. I don't think I have any UHQRs in stock right now. No, I don't. I have lots of MoFi stuff, but no, or Analog Productions, but no UHQRs. Fleetwood Mac self-titled. I have Mirage. I have Rumors, the Palace pressing. I have a Fleetwood Mac Live. I have a Stevie Nicks Greatest Hits, a Fleetwood Mac Greatest Hits. I do not have a copy of self-titled. I do need to get more of those, and I need to get copies of Mirages as well. So, all right. Also, the other bidders on David Bowie, Brent, and anybody else, I guess Pamela. Jeff has that for $220, so let me know if you're in or out. And Ray Charles was VG Plus condition, $14.99. That was a great crate, and guess what? There's still great stuff that wasn't claimed. I'm going to read through those one more time. We have 2 more crates of new vinyl, never shown before, and then 3 more crates of more new vintage. It's already 9 o'clock. I better start talking faster, right, Jake? Jake says I better start talking faster. Just me and Jake tonight. He's tagging. Everybody else is gone. Seems like everybody wants to disappear on Friday nights. I guess I'm the only one who seems to want to work around here. Just me and Jake. Stevie Ray Vaughan, 115, 116, 117. Paul Gill said sold on Ray Charles. Stevie Ray Vaughan, 118. Bowie's at 221, and Bowie's at 225. I'm just going to read these titles. If you want to know the price and condition, let me know. We have Leonard Skinner, Street Survivors, Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, Todd Rundgren, Cheap Trick in Color, Bob Dylan, Free Willin', Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits, Doobie Brothers, Captain and Me, Thomas Dolby, The Golden Age of Wireless. We have Neil Young, Comes the Time. These are Monday through Saturday. We say we start at 7. Sometimes we do, but usually it's like 7:10, 7:05. But if you get on sometime after 7, we should be live. And yes, every night. And we have a Paul, who's fairly new, working for us here. If I ever have to miss a night, he's our new host. Like, I just decided to take a rare vacation last weekend. It was so weird. I knew we were live, and I knew everybody was on here buying records, and I wasn't here. It was so weird. I hopped on for about 2 minutes Saturday night when Paul was hosting, but I kind of promised my family I would get my brain away from all this, because I'm usually like full force. I think nothing about Coletco From the time I wake up until I finally force myself to go to sleep, I'm usually working here. So, Dire Straits best price. Everything is sticker price right now. I will tell you the price, but right now everything's sticker price because we have a lot more to go through, and then I'll do a big recap. VG Condition, $14.99. Brent's out on David Bowie. Pamela's at $120 on Stevie Ray Vaughan. We have Dylan did not have the poster. And we have Bruce Springsteen, Greetings from Asbury Park. New Riders, Adventures of Panama Red. Huey Lewis Sports. Derek and the Dominoes in concert. John Denver, Farewell Andromeda. Charlie Daniels, I forgot his name. Charlie Daniels, Saddle Tramp. Bob Dylan. Leonard Skinner, Nothing Fancy. Hank Williams Sr. Foreigner Head Games. Peter Frampton. Yes, classic Yes. The Who's Next. And Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and Paul Simon. Now, there's a lot of comments and questions. Let me see if I can do anything. Which MoFi's and analog? Derek, give me 1 second. I've got a lot of new stuff tonight I've already shown. Jeff McMaster was at $225 on David Bowie. Jeff McMaster was at $225. Brent says he's out. Pamela was at $120 on Stevie Ray Vaughan. Chris says he's out. Pamela, you've got Stevie Ray Vaughan for $120, going once, going twice. David Bowie is going once, going twice for $225. Albert King has been sold. Dylan didn't have the poster. I still got to share which radio station Paul's on. I think it's WX something. Chad, if you can locate it, I liked the BB King Live last night if it hadn't sold. Jamie, I will find that for you. I did not buy anything when Paul was hosting. How much was Brothers in Arms? VG, $14.99. Pamela's back in at $226. New Riders price. New Riders is a VG copy for $9.99. WVU Mounties. We've had a couple people ask about Dire Straits. Let me bring that up front in case anybody decides they want it. David Bowie's at $230. How much is Foreigner Head Games? Foreigner Head Games is also a VG copy, $9.99. And I think we're good to go now. We're still bidding on David Bowie, $230 with Jeff McMaster. Stevie Ray Vaughan is now a final call. Pamela Yeager, $120. Jimmy LaCroix says he will take Head Games by Foreigner. That's sold to Jimmy LaCroix. If anybody decides they want New Riders, Dire Straits, or a price or anything else in here, let me know. Let me know. Okay. Let's see what we have over here. Figure out which crate I want to go through next. This one has quite a bit of stuff in it, but it's like 7 titles, and then the other crate. We may go through, let's go ahead and go through these. All right. Let me take a drink of water. Sorry if you had to hear that. My button that mutes my mic is not working anymore, so I used to mute my mic before I tried to chug water. And so, Dire Straits was VG condition. It's in VG condition. It's $14.99. The Black Crowes lines. Here's the last of that shipment I will probably have until we sell out again. That's pink vinyl, $39.99, 2LP. Black Crowes lines is on pink vinyl, $39.99, 2LP. We also have a restock of the Foo Fighters' newest album, which is But Here We Are. That's on white vinyl. $31.99 for the Foo Fighters. We had a waiting list for that. Jeremiah Stasich, Michael Marth, and R.M. Lazelle. I showed one in a putback bin, and then several people wanted it. So that was still available. I've got 2 more to put in the bins. $31.99 for the Foo Fighters, and that is on white vinyl. Here's something we haven't had in a while. Kings of Leon, Come Around Sundown. That is $38.99. Kings of Leon, Come Around Sundown. 2LP from Kings of Leon, $38.99. I've got 3 of those. And here's another one we haven't had in a while. Depeche Mode, Music for the Masses, single LP, $31.99, gatefold, and that sounds really, really good. $31.99. Let's go ahead and sell Stevie Ray Vaughan to Pamela. Pamela got that for $120. That sold to Pamela, Stevie Ray Vaughan's greatest hits from 1995. To tell you how hard that is to get. 1995. Wow. Not a lot of vinyl being pressed in 1995. Most of it just overseas in a lot of European countries that hadn't really got into the CD market yet. David Bowie. We're about to sell that to Jeff McMaster for $230. Final call. Final call on that. $230 on David Bowie. We have Jeff McIntosh on Depeche Mode, Music for the Masses. That's sold to Jeff McIntosh. The Foo Fighters was called But Here We Are. That's their newest album on white vinyl, $31.99. And Jason Kenton wants Kings of Leon. Kings of Leon to Jason Kenton. Pamela's back in on David Bowie at $235. I thought that one was over. It wasn't, though. It wasn't. Did somebody buy Rush Permanent Waves? I don't guess they did they? That's the only thing in the non-sale pile. So I guess no one bought. Let me put this over here. I forgot about this one. This is the only thing in the non-sale pile is Rush Permanent Waves, which is an $85 buy it now. WV Mounties wants New Riders from that last crate, and Nicholas Johnson wants Dire Straits. Nicholas, if you're a first-time buyer, let me know. I may have sold to you before, but I don't think I recognize. Your name too much. WV Mounties, you get New Riders, and Nicholas, this is sold to you. Make sure you send our Facebook page a message with your email address and your mailing address so we can send you an invoice. New from MoFi, or I should say a new restock, which has been unavailable, Keb Mo, $46.99. $46.99 for Keb Mo. That's from MoFi, $46.99. I have three of those. And the other new Janis Joplin, this is Farewell Song, Janis Joplin. So as y'all have seen tonight, there are new Janis Joplin reissues in from Music on Vinyl. I've already showed one. Here's the other one. I don't have the pre-order list, but if you knew you were on the pre-order, you've got one. I have plenty. Farewell Song, limited, single LP, turquoise colored vinyl, $38.99. Nicholas, thank you and welcome. $7 in limited shipping, as much as you want to buy. Jeff McMaster's back in on David Bowie at $250. Alum Dye wants a Keb Mo. That's sold to Alum Dye, Keb Mo. And we have Def Leppard Hysteria. I only ordered one copy because we only had one left. This one has some seam crackles. I think the other one does too. This album is notorious for getting seam crackles. That's a 2LP remaster of Hysteria, $49.99. Now this one, I never got around to posting the pre-order for. I should have, and this is Sugar Hill Gang, self-titled, 50 Years of Hip Hop, Music on Vinyl, limited to 1,000 on red vinyl, $38.99. And that does have Rapper's Delight. Sugar Hill Gang from Music on Vinyl, limited to 1,000, red vinyl, $38.99. Sugar Hill Gang. I've got 5 of those, limited and numbered. And another Incubus, which is called Like Grenades. Incubus is $34.99. That's new and sealed. So I told you we had about 4 Incubus titles tonight. Here's Like Grenades, $34.99. 2LP. Okay. Pamela, you're out on David Bowie. If you're done bidding, you can say out. If you want to bid, it needs to be more than $250. That's what Jeff is at. Dennis Nelson wants a Sugar Hill Gang, and so does Mark Quarum. So Sugar Hill Gang and Sugar Hill Gang. Pamela's at $260 on Bowie. And Incubus is $34.99. Okay, so I think my first batch of auctions are all gone. Everything that was on Facebook. I got one James Bond record over here that's mine. And I got a really low-numbered Cherry Pie. It's number 11 from Music on Vinyl. I don't know if anybody's interested in that. I was going to keep it and put it on eBay for auction, unless somebody may want it here. But in the meantime, let me go grab our Japanese bin, and I've got more Japanese auctions to put up. I'll finish what we didn't get to last night, which there's some good titles in here, like Eric Clapton. Who doesn't like Eric Clapton? Okay, Pamela's at $260 on David Bowie. All right, let me run through that crate one more time. So that was the Black Crowes. We have Foo Fighters. We have Kings of Leon. We have Depeche Mode. We have Keb Mo. We have Janis Joplin Farewell Song. That is a 1982 collection featuring 9 songs, including live performances and alternate studio recordings. Can't believe no one bought one of those. Farewell Song. 9 songs, including live performances and studio recordings. Limited and numbered, $38.99. Def Leppard, Sugar Hill Gang, and Incubus. And that's $34.99. So David Bowie's at $260. Next Japanese pressing is going to be Eric Clapton, Behind the Sun. This is a white label promo, a promo copy, promo sticker and promo label. This is a $25 start. Eric Clapton, Behind the Sun. Near mint and pristine Japanese pressing. It has the Japanese insert with it, and it has the hop sticker, or excuse me, it has the promo sticker, Obi, gatefold, Eric Clapton, promo copy, Japanese, near mint minus, and that's a $25 start. Let's see, Pamela's at $260 on David Bowie. Going once, going twice. What's the bond? I'll show it, but it's not for sale. And Def Leppard is $49.99, Hysteria. Yes, all the new Janis Joplin are on colored vinyl. This is turquoise colored vinyl, $38.99. Def Leppard is new and sealed, $49.99. Okay, that's new and sealed. Everything in that crate was new and sealed. A lot of stuff still left in that. I'm going to go grab our next crate of new vintage stuff, and I have more new vinyl after that. Let's see here. Is Chad mispronouncing incubus? I'd say so. I don't think I'd say if I say 100 words, probably 75 are pronounced incorrectly, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. Wow, we got some more Van Morrisons tonight, it looks like. Let me pull some of these out. Some Rush in here. Oh my gosh, Van Morrison. Looks like some near mint Rush albums. I see a couple things in shrink wrap, and this is some pretty good looking stuff here. Wow. Where did all this stuff come from? John didn't mix these up either. There's 5 Marillion records in a row. Wow. Man, we should have went through this record earlier, or this crate earlier. I guess it's still prime time. What time is it? I've lost track of time. This is some great new arrivals, though. Paul might have not been here today. I hadn't recognized any of Paul's stuff. I don't know who was here today. It may have been Paul. I don't know who works here some days, so. Incubus. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm saying. Okay, let's go through. Somebody said they want one each of Janis Joplin. Let's give, let me go ahead and pull one. I'll just set all those aside because I got to get them all together. Whose name is that? Just write down that name, Jake, and I'll keep all those together. We have, who just said that? Jason Kent. So just write down Jason Kent, one each of Joplin, and I'll pull them as I find them. Did Jeff McMaster say in or out on this? Pamela's at $260 on David Bowie. Jeff, let me know if you're in or out. Let's see here. Audio Slave, Hammer. I think Jeff says he's out. Okay, so David Bowie, final call, $260. And we have Eric Clapton's at $25. So both auctions are about to sell. There was something I was going to get over here. Maybe, hold on a minute. I lost my train of thought. Oh, the Bond record. Yeah, the Bond record. I think I've got over 100 different Japanese Bond records now. It's getting out of hand. There's always something different that I have. Probably different James Bond records. I think I've got over 200, maybe 300. I don't know. I have crate after crate, including 45s. Anything with Bond on the cover. Roger Moore there. This is called Action Themes, but it's not for sale because Roger Moore is on the cover. So, yeah, I have so many. I've been photographing them, and I'll share with y'all one day, but I think I've got 100 different James Bond 45s. I think I have 100 different James Bond 45s. It's got out of hand, so. We're about to sell both of these auctions. New vintage arrivals. Marillion, Fugazi, $39.99. It's a 1984 UK, $39.99. Marillion, Fugazi. Gatefold, 84 UK, $39.99. Steve Winwood, $19.99. Steve Winwood self-titled, original inner sleeve, $19.99. Steve Winwood and Edgar Winters White Trash Recycled, $19.99. Edgar Winters White Trash Recycled, $19.99. Craig Johnson wants a Hysteria Mar. I think that means he wants a Hysteria, right? Craig, do you want a Hysteria? If so, that is so to Craig Johnson. I think Craig Johnson also wants Marillion. And we have, he said yes and yes. Okay, let's also go ahead and end these auctions, Jake. David Bowie is sold to Pamela for $260. Man of Words, Man of Music, that's sold to Pamela. And Eric Clapton is sold to Thomas Hujar for $25. That was a great pickup there. Japanese promo copy of that. Chad a Bondaholic, yeah. Well, as y'all know, a couple years ago, or I guess a year ago, our store flooded here, and my Bond collection was actually stored here in the store. I had brought it here to take inventory, and we had just bought a collection with a lot of Bond stuff. I could used to carry it around in like a couple big boxes. Well, that night, the store flooded. Guess what? My James Bond collection was on the floor, and it was all 2 big blocks of nothing but mushed. It's like 1 big block of just mushed James Bond records. And about 10 years of collecting went straight into the dumpster. So I restarted, and I went on a buying spree, and I've been out of control ever since then. Thanks to David Johnson, I got a really nice, friendly package in the mail. David E. Johnson sent me about, 5 or 10, David? He sent me 5 out of his collection, and that kind of kick-started it back, and now I have, in about a year, I've bought several hundred. So I've even got some autographed. So yeah, water damage records are not fun. Be sure your records are stored very well. Okay. Last night we had some very nice Van Morrison. This is Tupelo Honey. Boy, look at that. We've been running across some nice Van Morrison records. So we have this has the poster with it. Wow, let's take a look at this. I don't know if I've seen too many with the poster. I don't know if I want to fold it out all together, but it does have a Van Morrison poster. $45 start on this one. There's the poster. There's the original Warner Brothers inner sleeve. And then there's the cover. One little spot right here on the cover. Other than that, very nice. And I guess I could show you the label. Let me show you the label on this. $45 start. And the vinyl is near mint. Very, very nice. Green label, Warner Brothers. Tupelo Honey with poster. $45. Jeff McMaster's in. Okay. All right. I also collect movie posters. That's got a hand too. I have most of the U.S. release Bond movie posters. That is also an expensive hobby. Oh my gosh. Now I'm starting to collect Japanese Bond movie posters, and those are even harder to get and more expensive. Movie posters can get quite pricey. Okay. Van Morrison 45, Van Morrison 50. Steve Winwood, Edgar Winter. Back to the crate. Scorpions, Animal Magnetism, $26.99. Scorpions, Animal Magnetism, $26.99 for Animal Magnetism. Sawyer Brown, Shaken, $14.99 for Sawyer Brown, Shaken. Molly Hatchet, No Guts, No Glory, $19.99 on Molly Hatchet. James Rayner, first on the Scorpions. That's sold to James Rayner. Pat Travers, Putting It Straight. Pat Travers is $19.99. We have The Best of Warren Zevon, A Quiet Normal Life. The Best of Warren Zevon, $34.99. The Best of Warren Zevon, $34.99. Here we go. KC and the Sunshine Band, just talking about them. In Shrink Wrap, this is the best of KC and the Sunshine Band, $24.99. James Rayner first on Scorpions. Dennis Nelson was second. Mark Lent third. Mark Querum first on Molly Hatchet. And Darren Wortman first on KC and the Sunshine Band. Van Morrison's at $50 with Sherry Darnell. Jeff, just so you know, you're out on that. The Doors 13 is $34.99. This is a Doors Hits compilation. $34.99 on the Doors 13. And Yes 90125. Yes is $19.99. That has the original inner sleeve with it. $19.99 on Yes 90125. The Best of Jethro Tull is $17.99. The Best of Jethro Tull. Van Morrison's at 52 of Jeff McMaster. John Miller takes the Doors 13. And Wasp is $74.99. $74.99 has the original inner sleeve. See what else we have in here. Anything else? And it is super duper. That's a new grade tonight. This is super duper nice. $74.99. You will find that in your official record grading definitions. Super duper. Make sure there's no merchandise. One of these have a merchandise insert. Was though, $74.99. That would normally go up for auction, but it's in the buy it now crate because I have so many other things to put up for auction. Colin put O, or that might be a Q, or that might just be a mistype. Sherry's at 55. Let's put up a Jeff Beck Japanese pressing of Wired. Wired is a $35 start. It is near mint and pristine. Orange Epic label from Japan. Near mint and pristine vinyl. $35 start. There's the original inner sleeve. It also has a Japanese insert that doubles as a poster. So you get a Japanese insert / Jeff Beck poster. Very nice cover. No discoloration or any flaws on this one. $35 start on Wired. Excuse me. We have Eddie Money, Can't Hold Back. Eddie Money is $14.99, gold stamp promo. The Essential Jimi Hendrix, 2LP, $44.99. The Essential Jimi Hendrix, 2LP gatefold, $44.99. Good stuff there. The guy is sort of good at playing a guitar if you've never heard him. He's got some pretty decent skills at playing electric guitar. David Eberly is first on Eddie Money. John Smetzer was second. The Who, Who's Last, is $34.99. The Who's Last. That's a 2LP Who concert, $34.99. Final call on Van Morrison. Sherry Darnell has that for $55. Sherry Darnell has that for $55. Final call. Never mind. Jeff's in at $60. Jay Giles Band, Love Stinks. Jay Giles is $19.99. The Guess Who number 10 is $19.99. Marshall Tucker Band's Greatest Hits, near mint. Very nice. $24.99. Can't You See? Heard It in a Love Song. Great music by Marshall Tucker Band. The Grateful Dead, In the Dark. $44.99. A 1987 SRC press, Right Side Up Eyes. Right Side Up Eyes. Whatever that means. Must be some kind of variant. $44.99. Alan Jonathan first from Marshall Tucker. Jeff McMaster first to the Grateful Dead. Those are both sold. Loverboy, Keep It Up. $16.99. Lovin' Spoonful's Greatest Hits, $9.99. The Lovin' Spoonful's Greatest Hits. Josie, you were second on the Grateful Dead. Sherry, you're out on Van Morrison. You can bid again, or actually Sherry said out. So final call on Van Morrison for $60. When I sell that, I'm going to make Jeff Beck a buy it now. So if you think you want Jeff Beck, I recommend bidding. If not, I'm going to go ahead and let that be a buy it now in just a moment. But hold your claim. Rush is $49.99. Canada Anthem label. Very cool. $49.99. Very clean vinyl too. That's on Anthem. Canada. $49.99. Rush, Fly By Night. Marillion, Clutching at Straws. $39.99 for Marillion. I told you there was a few Marillion albums in here. Here's the other one. It is near mint with the original inner sleeve. Craig Johnson first to Rush, Fly By Night. Marillion. And Lonnie Mack, Roadhouses and Dance Halls. Lonnie Mack is $19.99. Gold stamp promo. Foreigner 4 is in shrink wrap with hop sticker. $24.99. Foreigner 4, shrink wrap and hop sticker. The shrink is partially torn. It's actually all ripped off from right here, but it did preserve the hop sticker. That's near mint. Urgent, Waiting for a Girl Like You. The Firm, Mean Business. This also has the hop sticker on it. It's a gold stamp promo, $24.99 on The Firm. The Hollies, Romany, in shrink wrap, just $9.99, and that is near mint. In shrink wrap, $9.99 on the Hollies. David Eberly, first on The Firm. And let's go ahead and sell these auctions. Jeff McMaster gets the Van Morrison Tupelo Honey, near mint with poster for $60. That's sold to Jeff McMaster. Nice copy there with the poster. Beautiful vinyl. And Jeff Beck, if anybody wants it, it's a $35 buy it now. $35 buy it now on Jeff Beck Wired. $35 buy it now on Jeff Beck Wired. All right, let me slide this one in its nice 3mm protective sleeve bag. And Steve Bosford said, Wired 36. Steve, it's your lucky day. I'm actually going to sell this to you for $35. Sell that to Steve Botsford. He might have been on a delayed response. Sell that to Steve Botsford for $35, and Dennis Nelson gets Foreigner. We'll tag that for Dennis Nelson. Foreigner. Let me put up two new auctions. Let's see here. What did I have? Let me take, I don't know if I'm going to show this as a buy it now or put it up for auction. It is a 74 USOG. Let's put it up for auction. I mean, we just don't get true 74s too often. This is a 74 USOG Rush on the Skyline label, Mercury, 74 Terre Haute. It says Master Disc JK or GK. SRM-1011-A-CT1. This is going to be a $95 start. Rush, self-titled. It's a 74 Terre Haute, $95 start. $95 start. Rush, self-titled. I also pulled out this other Van Morrison. Let me take a look at it before I decide I want to make it an auction. It says 72 Terre Haute, and it is really nice. This is going to be a $45 start. $45 start, yes, super duper clean, nice vinyl. This is called St. Dominic's Preview Van Morrison. Yeah, near mint minus vinyl, $45 start. It also has the book with it. St. Dominic's Preview also has the book with it. Now, I see one flaw. It looks like the top spine got a little rolled over right here. It's not bad. It's not really, the seal's not really broken or anything. But it looks like some of the slick got rolled over just a little bit. Actually, I'm making it look a lot better right now doing what I'm doing. So just that one little flaw. Other than that, it's a really nice jacket as well. You can see it better right here what happened. Looks like it got squished a little bit or rolled over or something. Other than that, very clean. That's a $45 starting bid and Jeff McMaster's in. John Young wants the Hollies. Great price on that for the condition it's in. Back to the bin. Great bin so far. We have the Hollies, Another Night. Don't see that one too often. Later in their discography, though, 1975, $14.99 on the Hollies, Another Light. Steve Earle, Guitar Town. This is from 2016. 2016 pressing, $34.99. The album originally came out in 80. I don't know the original release year, but I think the late 80s. Guitar Town is $34.99, 2016. Steve Earle, another early tracks, $34.99. If you missed it last night, we had a copy of Copperhead Road. We bid on it for like an hour. We finally got it sold, though. So back-to-back Steve Earle, Guitar Town, and early tracks. Those are $34.99 each. The Band, The Last Waltz. The Band, The Last Waltz is a 2LP, $44.99. I have a feeling this probably has some extras with it. Let's take a quick look at it. The Band has 3 LPs in the original inner sleeves, and it does have the book. The cover has a clip corner, but the Band is, I'm just going to leave all that out for right now. That was $44.99, triple LP, near mint minus vinyl with the book on that. T-Rex, a 1972 Winchester press, the Slider, $29.99. That seems like a great price for the condition and the year. $29.99 on the Slider. And Steely Dan, Can't Buy a Thrill, is in shrink wrap. Very, very nice. $44.99. $44.99 for Steely Dan, Can't Buy a Thrill in shrink wrap. A gatefold in shrink wrap. Wow. Stevie Lee on T-Rex. That's sold to Stevie Lee. And Alan Jonathan got the Steely Dan. That's sold to Alan Jonathan. Steely Dan. Can I borrow your pen for a second, or borrow a pen? I need to make a couple notes. Stuff I just remembered seeing a couple people's names pop on. I was like, there's some stuff I need to do before I forget. Lonnie Mack, price and condition. By the way, final call on Van Morrison for $45, and final call if you want to get a bid in on Rush before I make it a buy it now for $95. Lonnie Mack is called Roadhouses and Dance Halls. The vinyl is near mint. It's a gold stamp promo, $19.99. Pat Benatar, Precious Time. Pat Benatar is $14.99. And Joe Walsh, The Smoker You Drink, The Player You Get. We had one of those earlier. There's another one, $19.99 on Joe Walsh, The Smoker You Drink. Johnny Cash, The Gospel Road, a story of Jesus told and sung by Johnny Cash, $24.99. Michael Nath wants the Lonnie Mack, and Michael Nath also wants Joe Walsh. Those are both sold to Michael Nath and Michael Nath. Jeff McMaster, is going to get the Van Morrison at auction for $45. This is sold to Jeff McMaster, one and only bidder on St. Dominic's Preview. Near mint OG with the booklet. Sold to Jeff McMaster, $45 on that one, Jake. I'll lay that in the auction pile. And that can only mean one thing. Rush is a $95 buy it now if anybody wants it. That is 74 Terre Haute US. Rush. $95 buy it now on that. Is the Rush OG. It is a 1974 Terre Haute. The original release year for this in the U.S. was 1974. That's a 74 Terre Haute. Let me put the band back together. No pun intended. This is a 44.99er. Triple LP, the original inner sleeves. And so the only two no bids tonight was Rush Permanent Waves, $85. Rush Self-Titled, $95. And we sold Rush Moving Pictures earlier as a buy it now, $105. Let me put up two new Japanese auctions before I continue with this crate. We have Boston Don't Look Back as a $35 start, and Billy Joel and Innocent Man as a $35 start. So Boston Don't Look Back is near mint and pristine. Boston Don't Look Back, near mint and pristine Japanese pressing. Just a $35 start. There's the Japanese insert. There's the Japanese inner sleeve. This inner sleeve always has discoloration. The rest of the record could be mint, but for some reason, this inner sleeve always has a little bit of discoloration. I don't know if haven't seen one without it. I'll mention it if I do next time we have this. Great cover though, beautiful, nothing wrong with it. Perfect Obi, perfect vinyl, and the insert's nice. $35 start on Boston Don't Look Back. A classic. And Billy Joel and Innocent Man is a $35 start. Billy Joel and Innocent Man, near mint and pristine vinyl. Beautiful. It also includes the Billy Joel calendar. This originally came with a calendar. That's in there. We have the lyric insert with a little bit of humidity spots on it. The Japanese booklet. The cover is very, very nice in shrink wrap, Obi, and hype sticker. $35 starts on those. Okay, back to the buy it now bin. Chubby's folk album, Lodi Low, in shrink wrap, $19.99. Chubby Checker? That's the only, I'm assuming, yeah. Chubby's folk album in shrink wrap, interesting. $19.99. That's a really high grade record for what it is, being Chubby Checker, a Parkway record in shrink wrap, $19.99. I've never seen that before. Bonnie Raitt, Give It Up. Bonnie Raitt is $9.99. Chicago, $19.99 on Chicago 567. $19.99. The Best of Cream, a German pressing. One of my favorites here, The Best of Cream. Just an awesome. Side 1 has Sunshine of Your Love, Badge, Crossroads, White Room, and Swallow Bar. It's amazing, too. That's a German pressing, $34.99. Rush, A Farewell to Kings, 77 Terre Haute, $34.99 on Rush. And Marillion, A Script for a Jester's Tear, 1983 UK, $39.99. Boston and Billy Joel are $35 starts. Craig Johnson wants Marillion. I'm going to read through these titles. Let me give you an update on where we're at for the night. We're going to go through these titles one more time. I still have 2 more crates just like this of never shown vintage new arrivals. I've also got a whole nother crate of new vinyl that we've never shown before. I'm about to do that next. We're going to go through everything at least once, then I'll probably do a very quick recap, and then we'll probably be done for the night. But pretty much for the next hour, you're going to see nothing but new arrivals, never shown before. So, our Terre Haute's first pressings. Not always. That's just where it was pressed at. Terre Haute, Indiana. Here's what's left in this bin. If you need prices, let me know just very quickly. Steve Winwood, Edgar Winter's White Trash, Sawyer Brown Shaken, Pat Travers Putting It Straight, The Best of Warren Zevon, Yes 90125, The Best of Jethro Tull. Wasp is $74.99, near mint. The Essential Jimi Hendrix, The Who's Last, Jay Giles Love Stinks, The Guess Who number 10, Loverboy Keep It Up, Love and Spoonful's Greatest Hits. Marillion, Clutching at Straws, Holly's Another Light, Steve Earle Guitar Town, Steve Earle Early Tracks, Pat Benatar Precious Time, Johnny Cash, The Band The Last Waltz, Chubby Checker, Bonnie Raitt, Chicago, Cream, and Rush. And then Rush, self-titled, is a $95 buy it now, 74 Terre Haute, and Permanent Waves is an $85 buy it now, Japanese press. Final call on those two auctions before I make them buy it nows. In the meantime, I'm about to show our next crate, which is all new stuff of new vinyl. And then I've got more. I'll probably have back-to-back new vintage crates. Great stuff. I hope nobody's going to sleep. Hope nobody's going to bed. Cream was $34.99. Here's the third and last new Janis Joplin release. Janis Joplin in concert. Janis Joplin in concert. $44.99, a 1972 live album featuring performances with Big Brother and the Holden Company and the Full Tilt Boogie Band. 2 LP set, pressed on 180-gram vinyl, black and white marbled vinyl, $44.99. That's limited and numbered to 1,500, $44.99. The other Incubus for the night, Morning View. Incubus is $39.99. I have 2 of those, new and sealed. And this was a special request. I went ahead and ordered a couple more. John Lee Hooker, Alone, live at Hunter College, 1976. Ken Highstand requested that I order that, and I thought, wow, that's a good title. I'll order a couple more for our blues buyers. John Lee Hooker is $46.99. The entire legendary 1976 solo concert at New York's Hunter College includes raw and revered performances of Boom Boom, Crawling King Snake, 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, 1 beer, 2 LP, $46.99. James Bragg wants a copy of Incubus Morning View. Jason Kenton wants a John Lee Hooker. Kenny Heathcock wants a John Lee Hooker. And George Ellis wants an Incubus. Those 2 titles are sold out. Anybody else that wants one, it will be a waiting list for either one, Incubus or John Lee Hooker. If you want this Incubus, please put Crow or Incubus Crow. This is a Crow Left of the Murder, $39.99. Some play on words there. $39.99 for Incubus. I've got 2 of those available. And I got a restock of the Stevie Ray Vaughan unofficial that was very popular earlier this week and I think at the end of last week. This is Stevie Ray Vaughan, Don't Mess with Texas. The 1987 broadcast, 2 LP, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Don't Mess with Texas. That is $39.99. Incubus is sold to James Bragg, Crow. I've got 1 of those left. Let's make these auctions a buy it now so I can put up some new stuff. Billy Joel, An Innocent Man, is a $35 buy it now. Billy Joel, An Innocent Man, $35 buy it now. That's a very nice Japanese pressing. The cover is in shrink wrap. OB and sticker also includes a Billy Joel calendar and all the inserts. And here's a great deal on this one. Boston Don't Look Back, a $35 buy it now. This is a near mint Japanese pressing all around except for that inner sleeve. That inner sleeve was had some discoloration. We'll call that VG+. Those are $35 buy it nows. Angela Chesney will take the Billy Joel, Innocent Man. I have a feeling somebody's going to be on standby for Boston. There is, David Eberly. So Angela got Billy Joel for $35. David Eberly got Boston for $35. Dwight Yoakam, Blame the Vein, $29.99. Next 2 Japanese auctions. Huey Lewis, 4, and Duran Duran, 7 in the Ragged Tiger. I will show those in details in just a second. But right now, this is a $35 starts on those. Duran Duran and Huey Lewis 4. Santana Supernatural, $36.99 for Santana Supernatural. POD Satellite. I actually only have 1 left because I didn't pull Craig Ruth. Craig Ruth was on a waiting list for POD Satellite. I've got 1 more available, $36.99. First time on vinyl in 20 years. Youth of Nation, Boom, and Satellite. That is $36.99 for POD Satellite, $36.99. I've got 1 of those. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, one of my favorite live performances of all time. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, live at Woodstock, 1969. This is a 2 LP unofficial from Parachute, $36.99. When this was originally announced, I was like, wow, finally, a recent, new, great-sounding copy, because I think there were older bootlegs of these, and this sounds really good, $36.99. Sweet Judy Blue Eyes is just amazing. The other Incubus is Science, or Science. I think you just read that as Science, though. $39.99 for Science. And Riot, Born in America. Riot is $28.99 for Born in America. So Duran Duran is near mint and pristine, $35 start. It does have the insert with it. The vinyl is near mint and pristine. There's the Japanese insert, cover with obi, and that's a $35 start on Duran Duran 7 and the Ragged Tiger. We also have Huey Lewis and the News 4. Huey Lewis and the News 4 is a Japanese pressing, also near mint and pristine. Absolutely nothing wrong with that one. Has the Japanese insert. That's also a $35 start. Do you ever see the Duran Duran wedding album? That is extremely rare and expensive. Romy Lou on Crosby, Stills and Nash, and Paul Jackson on Riot. Those are all sold. Romy Lou on Crosby, Stills and Nash, and Paul Jackson on Riot. So here's what's left in here. Janis Joplin in concert. Let me pull one for Jason Kenton. I'll put that over here. I got to pull him one of the others. Janis Joplin in concert. So technically we sold one of those. I got 4 left. Incubus, A Crow Left of the Murder, $39.99. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Don't Mess with Texas. Dwight Yoakam, Santana, P.O.D., Incubus, and Incubus. That's the only one we didn't sell at least one copy of. All right, let's go through some new vintage stuff. I'm sure y'all are interested in seeing what's next, as am I. So, might be some auction stuff in here, because I have not looked through them. Let me see what we have in here. So far, so good. So far, so good. Ooh, we auctioned one of those the other night. Oh, wow. That's nice. In shrink wrap with hop sticker. We may auction this one, too, as well. I mean, it looks nice. A couple blues records in here. A couple soundtracks. There's some more hop stickers. There's some more... yeah, this is actually... They found one. Here's one of the records I found last night. I figured we might need to put it up for auction. Somebody found it, either Paul or John. All right, good-looking stuff. All right, we auctioned the last time we had one of those. I'll set it up here. Yeah, this is a good crate. I probably could have pulled out half of it to auction, but we're at the point now, everything's a buy it now. So Huey Lewis 35 and Huey Lewis 36. So Eric Beck has that for 36. Scott, you're out. And final call on Duran Duran before I make that a buy it now. So new vintage arrivals or pre-owned, because there may be like 180 gram something in here, but I'll definitely let you know what it is. Most stuff is vintage or OG, and of course lots of first pressings. So let's go through here and see what we have. As soon as I take a water, I drink of water. One reason we're going to go through everything once and then do a recap is because we had so much tonight. I feel like I've already been through a lot. So, especially early on, we went through everything fast, I feel like. Elmo James, The Sky is Crying. This is a late 90s press, $34.99. Elmo James, $34.99. Feels like 180 gram. It's in shrink wrap. That's a late 90s press, $34.99. The Sky is Crying. Wipe the Windows, Check the Oil. This is the Allman Brothers. Dollar Gas, $34.99. That's a 2LP Allman Brothers. The Original Animals. Before we were so rudely interrupted, this has a WZMF 98 radio call strip on it, and that's $14.99. So that was from a radio station at one point. Van Halen 2 is $44.99 for Van Halen 2. Louis Armstrong, Hello Dolly, $9.99 for Louis Armstrong. An Evening with Belafonte. Harry Belafonte is $9.99. Goodbye Cream. This is in shrink wrap, $39.99. Goodbye Cream. Very clean vinyl. In partial shrink wrap, has some sticker residue. Looks like it has a punch hole right there, but it didn't. Yeah, I guess it went through it. Looks like maybe a price tag was stapled to it at one point. I've seen that before. Chris Youngblood, first on LA, which is Louis Armstrong. Eric, you're out on Huey Lewis. Scott has it for $37. Charlie Daniels Band, Full Moon, $24.99 on Charlie Daniels Band, Full Moon. Chick Corea, Again and Again. Chick Corea is $9.99. That's in shrink wrap. John Cougar, American Full. That's in shrink wrap, $19.99. John Cougar, American Full. That's in shrink wrap, $19.99. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Willie and the Poor Boys. That's the reissue label. The vinyl is near mint, $29.99. Paul Jackson on Chick Corea. Eric Beck is at 30 out on Huey Lewis, so Scott, you're out. And John Smetzer wants JC, which is John Cougar. That's sold to John Smetzer. Bad Company, Desolation Angels. Bad Company is $19.99. Bad Company, Desolation Angels, Swan Song. Bernadette Peters, 1999, and this is called self-titled. I think at one time I said Vargas, and then I realized that's the artist of the artwork. It's been a while since I've had this, but I quickly realized that. 1999. Boston, another copy of Third Stage. If you missed the one earlier, Boston Third Stage, this one is absolutely near mint, $34.99. So Scott's out on Huey Lewis. We're going to say going final call on 38. We're going to go ahead and make Duran Duran a buy it now for $35. If anybody wants in on that, Duran Duran is a $35 buy it now. That's 7 and the Ragged Tiger. David Eberly is going to get the Boston Third Stage. I'm going to pull that right now. And that's a $35 buy it now. And let's go ahead and sell Huey Lewis to Eric Beck for $38. Eric Beck gets the Huey Lewis for $38. Let me put that away. And then I'll grab some stuff I pulled out of this crate to auction, including some, well, you're about to find out. Some things I was like, well, I'll pull them out to auction. I probably will anyway, but a couple things I like to check on them. Let me bring this stack over here. Oh, if I don't trip and fall. I know the Allman Brothers is on the pink label, which is at the Fillmore, a very desirable label for this album. We also had Cowboy Junkies, and then here's the first one I'm going to start with. Quiet Riot, Metal Health. Quiet Riot, Metal Health. In shrink wrap with hype sticker. Very clean copy. $35 start with hype sticker. Bang your head. Come on, feel the noise. In shrink wrap. This didn't have an original inner sleeve. It's just a generic one, best of my knowledge. The vinyl is near mint. One little tear, little piece of the shrink wrap, barely holding on right there. And that's a $35 start. Quiet Riot, Metal Health, near mint in shrink wrap and hype sticker. Romelu wants the Duran Duran. Jake, that was a $35 buy it now. And let's go ahead and put up the Cowboy Junkies. The Cowboy Junkies Trinity Session. That has the original inner sleeve. $40 start on that. Cowboy Junkies, the Trinity Sessions, or the Trinity Session. $40 start on that. Jimmy is in on Quiet Riot at $35. We have Alice Cooper, Lace and Whiskey in shrink wrap. $26.99. Alice Cooper, Lace and Whiskey. $26.99 on Alice Cooper, Lace and Whiskey. Crosby, Stills, and Nash Replay. $24.99 on Replay. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Uriah Heep, The Magician's Birthday. $19.99. Uriah Heep, The Magician's Birthday. $19.99. Joe Barrios is at $45 on the Cowboy Junkies. To Bonnie from Delaney. Delaney and Bonnie. $24.99 on Delaney and Bonnie. And Ray Charles, A Man and His Soul. A deluxe 2-album set, it says. In shrink wrap, near mint, $29.99. So Quiet Riot, $35, $36, $37, and Cowboy Junkies is at $45. Bonnie M, or Boney. I think I was being told that's Boney M. Night Flight to Venus is $26.99. This is a super, well, this is on Sire, but if you ever find one on that original label, I had one time. It took me probably 45 minutes to figure out what pressing. There's a certain pressing you have to actually listen to it to see. I think it's Night Flight to Venus. You literally have to put it on and listen to it to determine what pressing you have. It's an unedited song, the original press, and that is very hard to find. Very interesting album. I enjoyed listening to it. That was $26.99. Paul Jackson on Uriah Heep. Paul Jackson got Uriah Heep. Quiet Riot's at $38, now $39. Bartford and Ronnie, Life Is You. Bartford and Ronnie is $19.99. Duran Duran is gone. Yes, someone bought that for $35, the buy it now price. Eric Clapton, Money and Cigarettes is $34.99. And Eric Clapton, Just One Night, 2LP Live, $34.99. Here's one of those shrink wrap and hype sticker records I was telling you about. A perfect copy of Double Vision. Shrink wrap, hype sticker, near mint, $24.99. I'm going to step over here and get myself a drink of water. Drink of water. I need it. I'm going to grab a couple Funkos too while I'm over here because I showed our newest Funkos last night, and I'm going to remind everybody of those that I have in stock. I told Tanner to grab Dude Love, and he didn't. I have a feeling we might have at least one person watching that wants a Dude Love. Let me show some of these right quick. I also had new puzzles last night. We sold almost all of them. I went ahead and ordered more last night, though. New Funkos. Dude Love, $14.99. Bon Scott, that's the newest one. We've sold almost sold a whole case of those. Bon Scott's $14.99. We have Megadeth, Vic Rattlehead. That's $14.99. Megadeth, Vic Rattlehead, and Snoop Dogg. And I guess that's from like the Doggy Style type era. There's another one coming out, I think, next week or pretty soon. Those are all $14.99. So WWF, Snoop Dogg, Bon Scott, and Megadeth, Vic Rattlehead. Those are all brand new and perfect, and those are $14.99. I'm going to lay those right there. Sold several last night. Big box full of them. And lots of puzzles. All right, I'm going to set my water right there. I'll turn to that in just a second. So we had Michael Thrower put DV for double vision. So Jake, next claim was Michael Thrower for DV double vision. David Eberly was second. And Carlene wants a Megadeth. MD, I believe that is Megadeth, right? That's the only other thing I see, MD. Sell that to Carlene Rollins, $14.99. And Cowboy Junkie, Scott Snee, we already have a $45 bid with Joe Barrios. I was actually already about to sell it. Joe Barrios has this for $45. Final call. Quiet Riot is at $39 with Beverly Hisner. So there's where we're at on that. $39, going once, going twice, and final call on the Cowboy Junkies. Back to the bin. We have Queen, A Night at the Opera, $34.99. That is a 2008 pressing, 180 gram, and it's near mint, $34.99 for Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody is on that one. Spirit of 84. Spirit is $19.99 in shrink wrap. Scott Snee is in on Cowboy Junkies, so Joe Barrios, you're out on Cowboy Junkies. Quarter Flash is $19.99. Urban Cowboy 2 soundtrack, $19.99. Actually, I don't think it's Urban Cowboy 2. I think it's more music from the Urban Cowboy, right? Yeah, I don't think there was, or was there an Urban Cowboy? Was there a second movie, or is this additional music? I think this is just additional music. J.D. Souther, Mickey Gilley, Johnny Lee. I don't think there was an Urban Cowboy 2. That's just more music. $19.99. That's sold to John Duran. If everybody's done, if everybody's done on Quiet Riot, I'm going to sell that to Beverly Hisner for $39. Final call. Little Richard, 20 Greatest Hits. Little Richard, 20 Greatest Hits. That's $19.99 for Little Richard. Every great Motown songs the first 25 years. Wow, how did they fit all that onto a single LP? $19.99. Where Did Our Love Go? Dancing in the Street. Reach Out, I'll Be There. Heard It Through the Grapevine. Baby Love. My Girl. How Sweet It Is. It has most of them. $19.99. $19.99. So John Duran got Urban Cowboy. Scott Snee's out on Cowboy Junkies. Joe, you have that at $47. Final call. Marco Villavenicio wants the Motown. Stacy, you were second. We have King of the Slide Guitar, Elmore James, $26.99. Contains previously unreleased material. That looks like it's brand new. $26.99 on Elmore James. All right, let's sell some auctions. Quiet Riot is sold to Beverly Hisner for $39. That's sold to Beverly for $39. And Cowboy Junkies is sold to Joe Barrios for $47. That's sold to Joe Barrios for $47. I'm going to get two more auctions started. Let me get back down to the bottom. And Michael Nath was first to the Elmore Jones. Kenny, you were second. All right, I usually always auction these because of the label. Let's see what we have here as far as condition. Well, that was a nice sound on the gatefold. I was about to say a super nice jacket, but Harry and Hank wrote their name on the cover right here. Well, that's really camouflaged up there in the black brick, but Harry wrote his name on the cover, and Hank wrote his name on the belly of Greg Allman. So this is the good part, though. It's on the original Pink Capricorn label, and it is a super nice copy. I think I remember seeing this one somewhere in the back last night. Yeah, very, very nice copy. A breakthrough album for the Allman Brothers, live at the Fillmore East. That's a $45 start. Super clean vinyl. It's usually beat. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of pen writing on the cover, but other than that, it's pretty strong. Strong binding and minimal signs of like ring wear or anything. $45 start on that one. $45 start on that. Another tribute band, Greg Allman's belly. Hank wrote his name right on the front of his belly. Green Tambourine. This is going to be a $20 start. $20 start. Buddha Records. Very clean vinyl. This is a stereo press. We had one of these the other night in shrink wrap. This is another really nice, I believe, 67 press. And nice jacket too. $20 start on the Green Tambourine by the Lemon Pipers. $20 start. Back to the bin. Billy Joel, The Bridge. Billy Joel is $16.99 for The Bridge. Pat Travers, Making Magic is $19.99. And whoever asked earlier, I guess it was Mark, the only two records that did not sell was Rush, $95, and Rush Permanent Waves, $85. Those are buy it nows. That's the only two things that has not sold tonight. Darren Meyer, first on Pat Travers. That's sold to Darren Meyer. And Colin Butler is at $20 on the Lemon Pipers. Van Halen, self-titled, $44.99 for Van Halen self-titled. Original label, inner sleeve, $44.99. Debut album from Von Holland. The Best of Spirit, $19.99 for The Best of Spirit. I Got a Line on You. The Hissing of Summer Lawns, Joni Mitchell, $19.99 for Joni Mitchell. Bonnie Tyler, Faster Than the Speed of Night. Bonnie Tyler is $9.99. We have Van Morrison live, $39.99. 2LP, recorded live in concert the summer of '73, $39.99. Where were you in the summer of '73? I wasn't thought of yet. Billy Joel, The Nylon Curtain, $14.99 for Billy Joel, The Nylon Curtain. Wadsworth Mansion. Wadsworth Mansion is $14.99. And Vanilla Fudge, Rock and Roll. Vanilla Fudge, $19.99. Mike Tanitti on Billy Joel. I'm assuming you want the Nylon Curtain. That's sold to Billy, or that's sold to Mike. I have a bad habit of saying sold to Billy Joel. I do that all the time. I think one night Tanner accidentally tagged a record like the buyer was Billy Joel. I know possibly Addison's done it. Maybe Jake has maybe even done it, because I have a bad habit of saying, I do it all the time. I'll go, that's sold to Billy Joel. And the reason is because I know about 3 people locally who have a name very similar to Billy Joel. I think I know a Michael Joe, a Billy Joe, and I think a Billy, I don't know if I know anybody named Billy Joe. Maybe just Michael Joe and Billy Joe. And so it's just like a common name. So I say sold to Billy Joe. Happens all the time. So UFO Fawcett. UFO Fawcett is $24.99. So Jake, that's not sold to Billy Joe. It's sold to Mike Tanitti. Yes, Yesterday's is $19.99. Yes, Yesterday's. Marshall Tucker Band, Carolina Dreams is $24.99. And the Yardbirds, Shapes of Things. The Yardbirds is $26.99. Shapes of Things. So final call on the Lemon Pipers. Colin has that for $20. And if you want in on the Allman Brothers, a $45 start, or I'm going to make it a buy it now. Jeff McMaster wants yes, Yesterday's. Pamela is in on 22 on Lemon Pipers. Sounds like you're saying Billy Joe every time you say Billy Joel. Yeah, I don't really put the L in there because I have a friend, his dad's name is, I think they call him Michael Joe Halliburton. And I call him Billy Joe every time I see him, Billy Joe instead of Michael Joe. But then I also know a guy named Michael Joe or Billy Joe. It's very confusing. I'll stop while I'm ahead. Colin Butler is at 23. Pamela, you're out. Here's what's left in this crate. Elmo James, The Sky is Crying. The Allman Brothers, The Original Animals. Van Halen 2, An Evening with Belafonte. Cream is in shrink wrap, Goodbye. The Charlie Daniels Band, Full Moon. Creedence, Willie and the Poor Boys. Bad Company. Bernadette Peters. Alice Cooper was in shrink wrap. Crosby, Stills and Nash Replay. To Bonnie from Delaney, Delaney and Bonnie, Ray Charles, Boney M, Bartford and Ronnie, Eric Clapton, Queen, Eric Clapton, Spirit, Quarter Flash, Little Richard, Billy Joe, Van Halen, The Best of Spirit, Joni Mitchell, Bonnie Tyler, Van Morrison, Wadsworth Mansion, Vanilla Fudge, UFO, Marshall Tucker, and the Yardbirds. Pamela, let me know. She let me know right now. She's in at 24. And the Almond Brothers is a $45 buy it now. That's more than what I had that stickered for, so take advantage. $45 buy it now on this. I have another crate of vintage. Pamela's out. I was about to say, Colin, if Pamela's bidding on something, you better get prepared to bid for a long time, because I don't know if I've ever seen the words from Pamela Yeager, O-U-T. I don't think she says out. Benton Bragg gets the Almond Brothers for $45, Jake. That's so to Benton. Thomas was second. John Miller was third. Mike Massey needs to put back. Black Flag, slip it in. We'll just make a note, or you can go ahead and pull out of the crate. Jake gave me the thumbs up. Pamela's at 24 on the Lemon Poppers. Luke was the fourth to claim the Almond Brothers. Everybody was waiting for the buy it now. I was surprised it didn't get a bid. Everybody was waiting for the $45. We had a mint copy of that one night that I know brought close to $100, so I consider that a bargain for that pressing. Even though the cover had a little bit of wear on it, or a little bit of rotting, that's a good deal. The vinyl on that was beautiful, so Benton Bragg, consider yourself lucky. Wow, this next crate has some interesting titles in it. I see our favorite Moody Blues, but I also see some stuff that we don't put out too often, so another interesting crate of vintage coming up right now. Let's go through it. All new vintage arrivals. This is our last crate of vintage, but the show is not over. I'm going to do some condensing, and then we'll do a little bit of recapping. I have not ate today. So it's already 10 o'clock. I have a feeling we're going to do a recap, and then Chad is going to have to stop the show. My stomach is rumbling, and I think y'all know how I am about food. And usually I've ate once or twice before the show starts. I've ate 0 times, Jake. Not good. We have lemon poppers sold to Pamela Yeager for $24. Food is a crutch. Food is essential for Chad's well-being. I'm liable to get dizzy, and also I could also get, prices could start going up the hungrier I get. If I got a full belly stuff, we start doing like $6.99 crates. Duran Duran Arena. This is going to be a $35 start. Whoever missed out on the other Duran Duran, here's a really cool one. It's a near mint and pristine Japanese pressing of Arena. There's the vinyl. It also includes this booklet with it. It also has the Japanese insert. Also this is a inner page to this, I think. No, this may go in here. Some of these Japanese records, they're not stapled. Like all the pages are just loose, so those actually go in there like that. So, just FYI, it's not like it's the binding is off. They just didn't staple it. So there's the booklet. There's the actual lyric insert, and the cover is a gatefold near mint with Obi. $35 start. $35 start. Yeah, my math. I'm not. Yeah. I think I mentioned last night my sleep schedule's been off. I've only been able to sleep a few hours a day, and it's been from like 3 to 6 is when I've been sleeping every day, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So I've been off this whole week ever since I went on that trip, and I had to be out with my family during the day. I was like, what is this sunlight? I'm not used to it. So I've been sleeping from like 3 to 6 all week. Not good, and I haven't been eating too well, so... $35 for Billy Joel and Innocent Man. Billy Joel and Innocent Man, there's the Japanese insert, and there's the Japanese booklet. Did we sell one of these earlier? We may have. This one's got an OB on it, also in shrink wrap. That's got a little bit different OB on it. That's a $35 start for that. $35 start for that. So Duran Duran has a bid for $35. Mike's in, looking for a $35 bid on that. Let's go through this crate right here. Let's see what we have in here. We have the Stampeders, Sweet City Woman. The Stampeders is $14.99, Sweet City Woman. Rick Derringer, Guitars and Women. Guitars and Women, Rick Derringer, $19.99. Bruce Dickinson, Tattooed Millionaire, $39.99. Bruce Dickinson. Isn't that the guy on the More Cowbell guy? Bruce Dickinson, $39.99. Bruce Dickinson from 1990. Wow. In shrink wrap, Tattooed Millionaire. Isn't that the more, or is that the lead singer of Iron Maiden? Okay, that might be it. Who's the guy on the SNL skit that's like, didn't he say his name's Bruce Dickinson too? All right, Duran Duran's at 36 and Duran Duran's now at 40. We have, Jake, that is sold to Darren Wortman. Entertainer of the Year, Loretta Lynn, $9.99. Entertainer of the Year, Loretta Lynn. Rick Derringer Live, and that is $14.99 for Rick Derringer Live. Doobie Brothers Stampede, is $14.99. John Denver Back Home Again, $14.99. What's in a tank? Diesel, $14.99. Diesel, what's in a tank? Not what's in the tank, what's in a tank, diesel. And Utopia, oops, wrong planet, $14.99. Mike's at 40 on Duran Duran. Chris is at 44. John Smetzer on Rick Derringer. And Jake, put that one down as $14.99. It actually didn't have a sticker on it, but we're going to make that $14.99 to John Smetzer. Brian C. was second. Blue Oyster Cult is SNL. Yes, it's Blue Oyster Cult in the skit, but what's his name comes out there, and he says his name's Bruce Dickinson. So, John Voight. It's not John Voight, is it? No, who's doing the skit? I know Will Ferrell's in it, but the other guy, he's a Bond villain too. He's in a lot of movies. Christopher Walken, thank you. John Voight, same thing. John Voight and Christopher Walken, basically the same person. The Rolling Stones Emotional Rescue, $34.99. The Rolling Stones Emotional Rescue, $34.99. Pat Travers Black Pearl, $19.99. Pat Travers Black Pearl, very clean copy. Nice jacket too, $19.99. Pat Travers Hot Shot. Boy, a lot of Pat Travers in here, and Rick Derringer records. $19.99 on Pat Travers. And the Rolling Stones Some Girls, $64.99. The Rolling Stones Some Girls unedited cover, $64.99. Unedited cover, $64.99. Okay, so Duran Duran, we had 35, 35, 36, 40, 45. We sold Rick Derringer Live. And 50 on Duran Duran. No other claims out of here yet. Duran Duran's at 50 with Mike. The Rolling Stones Exile on Main Street. This is a new 180 gram pressing, 2 LP, $44.99. $44.99. Linda Ronstadt, Different Drum. This is $12.99. Linda Ronstadt, Different Drum, $12.99. Brian Tyler wants Exile on Main Street. We'll sell that to Brian Tyler. Roxy Music, The Atlantic Years, which is like a hits comp, 73 to 1980, $24.99 on Roxy Music. Linda Ronstadt, Simple Dreams. Linda Ronstadt is $9.99 for Simple Dreams. The Doobie Brothers, What Were Once Vices Are Now Habits. The Doobie Brothers is $14.99. What Were Once Vices Are Now Habits. Linda Ronstadt, Mad Love. Linda is $9.99. And Roxy Music, Manifesto. Roxy Music is $19.99. Manifesto, near mint, $19.99. Roxy Music Siren is $24.99. So Roxy Music, Roxy Music. The Carpenters, The Singles, $9.99 on Carpenters, The Singles. $9.99, 69 to 73. Thomas Hujar on ROD, which is Rod, and that could be Ronstadt, possibly Roxy Music. Let me know what that was exactly, Thomas. Let's end these auctions. While we're figuring that out, Duran Duran is sold to Mike Tanetti for $50. Jake, that is $50 to Mike T. $50 buy now. If anybody wants the Billy Joe there, Billy Joe, An Innocent Man, $35 buy it now. $35 buy it now on Billy Joe, An Innocent Man. $35 buy it now. There's the Duran Duran, very nice. And he wants Roxy Music Manifesto. So Thomas gets the Roxy Music Manifesto. This Billy Joe, An Innocent Man is a $35 buy it now. Billy Joe, An Innocent Man, $35 buy it now. And I'm going to put that right over here with the two Rush records. I got some more Japanese stuff to put up in just a second. Back to the bin. Cheap Trick, $19.99. Standing on the Edge. We've had a couple of Cheap Trick albums tonight. We don't see as often. That's one of them. Standing on the Edge, $19.99. The Cars' Greatest Hits in shrink wrap, $34.99. $34.99. And that's got the original sleeve, $34.99. And John Lill wants Cheap Trick. John Lill's bought both of them. That's sold as well to John Lill. I messaged my Facebook email just to get the invoice bill, Joe and I correct. Yes. Send our Facebook page. So go to Facebook Messenger and send Collect Co. You can go to our page and there should be a button that says send message, and then send us your email address and your mailing address, and you will get an invoice on Monday. We start sending them on Sunday, but where we have in the hundreds of invoices to send, it takes Tanner all day Monday to kind of create them, and then it takes us the rest of Sunday to send them and all day Monday to send them. And then everybody gets an invoice. Everybody starts paying. Doug and Ed show up on Monday. They start sorting everything to whoever bought what. If you're local, it comes up front. You can pick it up. They start sorting it on carts. As people start paying, they pull it off the carts and they start packing it up. And then it gets shipped out to you. Some days it gets shipped out very quickly. Sometimes it may be a week after you pay. So bear in mind, we got 3 people shipping records now, Jake, Ed, and Doug, and it takes every bit of their time just to keep us caught up. And I think we're balanced right now. I think you should have got a tracking number if you paid. If not, they probably have it pulled. It's probably packed up and they just got to print out the label, and it will probably be shipped out on Monday. So there you go. That's how our whole system here works. John Miller on cars. It takes multiple full-time employees to make all this operate efficiently. Luckily, I have some great help. Eric Clapton, 461 Ocean Boulevard, and the famous Deep Purple 24 karat purple hits comp. This is a $35 start. So $35 start on Deep Purple 24 karat purple. This is a $35 start. $35 start on that. And we have this Japanese insert here. It actually oddly has some tape. They've taped it together. Maybe it's just stuck together. No, it's not taped together. It has some tape on the ends though. Looks like somebody had this poster pinned up at one time. $35 start. Hey, Doug's watching. He says he's very thankful for Ed and Jake. Doug would be very much so behind if he didn't have some help. We figured that out a while back. Even as long as he would work all week, we just have way too many orders. It takes about 3 almost full-time people to get all these orders out. Plus me and Tanner, and then Seth, and then my mom, and then John and Paul out pricing and buying stuff. So you add all that up, and plus some part-time, we've got well over 10 people here now on staff to make this whole machine run. So we've got a lot of people on staff, including myself. $35 start on 461 Ocean Boulevard. A Japanese pressing of Eric Clapton 461 Ocean Boulevard. It has a little bit of discoloration on the cover. The vinyl is near mint and pristine. It does have some of that humidity. That kind of matches the cover though. All the palm trees and humidity, that kind of goes with it. $35 start on Eric Clapton 461 Ocean Boulevard, and the Deep Purple's a $35 start as well. Jake, put down Ben for a mystery box. Ben for a mystery box. Okay, back to the bin of new arrivals. The Cars, another Cars album. This is Heartbeat City. Heartbeat City has the original inner sleeve with it. $34.99 for the Cars, Heartbeat City. Of Cabbage and Kings, Chad and Jeremy. Chad Stewart and Jeremy Clyde. That's $34.99. It does have that braille strip along the front. That's not one we've seen too often. It's a Columbia 2i mono. Very clean. Chad and Jeremy. Very psychedelic cover. $34.99. Chicago 19. Chicago 19 is $12.99. The Cars door to door. The Cars door to door is $34.99. The Cars door to door is $34.99. John Smetzer on Chicago. That's sold to John Smetzer. We have Ian Dury, new boots and panties. Ian Dury is $14.99. Ian Dury, $14.99. Jeff McMaster first on C, which is either going to be for the Cars or Chicago, or Chad and Jeremy. Jeff, let me know which one you wanted there. Another Ian Dury in the blockheads. This is Do It Yourself. Do It Yourself is $9.99. Jeff McMaster wanted the Cars, so Chicago to John Smetzer. The Cars is sold to Jeff McMaster. Rich, let me know which Ian Dury you want. Let me, if you want new boots and panties or Do It Yourself. We have the Doobie Brothers Farewell Tour. The Doobie Brothers Farewell Tour is $24.99. That's near mint and pristine, 2 LP. Farewell Tour and Rich Recor on new boots. That's sold to Rich Recor. I'm going to go ahead and end these auctions. If anybody wants them, they're $35 buy it now. So that's deep purple, 24 karat purple, near mint and pristine. That's a $35 buy it now. This is one of like our all-time best-selling Japanese pressings. We're going to go ahead and sell that to Rich Recore. Great track list on that. Just $35 for a perfect copy. And we're going to sell that to Rich Recore. And the other one is sold. Steve Botsford is going to get Eric Clapton for $35 buy it now. Thanks to everybody who tunes in week after week and supports our small business. I don't know if I say thank you enough, but I have some people watching. We have some new people tonight, and then we have some people who's been watching our page for years now, ever since I first started doing this. And some people watch every night and they buy every night. So thank you. We are a small business. We do have a lot of employees and a lot of expenses, which means we have a lot of overhead, and that's why we have to constantly be buying and selling. We love doing what we're doing. I know I do. I don't really feel like I'm working right now, even though this is my job every night. And we've grown exponentially in the last couple years, like doubling every year for several years. So hopefully we do that again next year. So we have, we got two, I think I've had 3 different pressings of Innocent Man. Here's 2 Japanese pressings. Billy Joe, Innocent Man, and Innocent Man. They're both mint and pristine Japanese pressings. If anybody wants that, that is a $35 buy it now. $35 buy it now on those. So that's the only 2 Japanese pressings that did not sell. We sold one earlier, but I had one I didn't show. We had Rush Permanent Waves. That's an $85 buy it now. And Rush is a $95 buy it now. So $85 buy it now, and Rush is a $95 buy it now. Those are the only 4 auctions that did not sell. Only 4 auctions that did not sell. Please pay for your purchases. Yes, that's very important. We have to waste a lot of money reselling unpaid records. Some people don't understand it, but if you think about everything we have to pay to get a record sold, we got to pay somebody to buy it, either myself or Paul or whoever's out buying records. Then we have to clean them, and then we have to price them, and then we got to sell them. We got to tag them. We got to invoice them. We got to sort them. And then if they don't get paid, then half of that process has to be repeated again. And it essentially costs money to resell stuff that doesn't get paid for. So that's why I'm like, oh, man, you want to put something back, or even like a putback, which some of y'all putbacks are fine. It's going to happen one here and there. But actually, when you put back a record, it probably cost a couple dollars for us probably to resell it. So it's hard to comprehend that for some people. But if you run a business, if you're a business owner and you're watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every time you touch something, it costs money. So it costs money to resell these things. So hopefully you can pay. Carpenter's title. The Carpenter's was the singles, 69 to 73, which is a gatefold. That is near mint, and the vinyl's near mint. And that is $9.99. The Carpenter singles, 69 to 73, $9.90 on that. My orders have paid for Seth Saller for a year. Seth doesn't get paid too well, just FYI. So you may have to buy some more to pay for him. He's at the bottom of the totem pole. And back to the bottom. Can you please show me Pat Travers Black Pearl Conditioned Inner Sleeve? John, I can do that. Black Pearl, Pat Travers. Very nice cover. It has a generic white inner sleeve, red polydor label, and that was $19.99. I do not have glass houses. Billy Joe Red Obage say $35. Yes, both Billy Joes are either Billy Joes or $35. So Michael Nath, if you want that, $35. Okay, let's go through the rest of this crate. We're still not done here. We have Donovan's Greatest Hits, $12.99. Donovan's Greatest Hits, yellow Epic label, $12.99. That is a gatefold. Michael Nath gets Billy Joe for a $35 buy it now. Thank you. There it is. The Moody Blues. Every good boy deserves favor. Beautiful vinyl, gatefold, textured cover. Boy, that sounded good when you open it. I think a lot of this is from that Wisconsin collection, $19.99. Pricing edition on Roxy Music Atlantic Years. That is right here, Roxy Music Atlantic Years, and that is $24.99. $24.99. The vinyl is near mint minus and about a VG Plus cover, Mike Langford. $24.99 on that. Another Moody Blues, 7th Sojourn, $14.99. $14.99 on Moody Blues 7 Sojourn, and Moody Blues Long Distance Voyager, $14.99. Yeah, every time Seth gets fired, his pay goes back down to minimum. He loses all of his benefits, and then he has to restart. So that's why I fire him every night. He got fired last night. Mike Langford says he'll take Roxy Music. That's sold to Mike Langford. We have the Moody Blues, the present, the Moody Blues. Another one. That one's rare. Don't see that one too often. $14.99, and Eric Clapton's Slow Hand, a classic album, such as hit songs as Cocaine, $34.99. Little River Band, Diamantina Cocktail. Little River Band is $9.99. Lone Justice, Shelter, with hop sticker. Lone Justice is $14.99. Shelter. Lone Justice self-titled, $14.99. Back-to-back Lone Justices. The Doors is $34.99. No notes on the pressing. Let's see what we have here. It's a butterfly label, so definitely not OG. That's more of an early 70s press. Very clean vinyl. Looks like EX Plus. A little bit of ring wear. Does have a clip corner, and it has a braille strip. The Doors, though, is $34.99. Straight Jacket Rocks. Odd. It looks like a straight jacket with a violin with some Japanese letters. $9.99. Straight Jacket Rocks, $9.99. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to auction this, Jake. This is a Striper record. I'm going to have to take a drink of water. I thought I recognized that. It's been a long time since I've seen one. I think since the Knoxville Metal Collection. What in the world? On our last crate, we run across a Striper record. Can't Stop the Rock. Can't Stop the Rock. Striper, the collection. 1984 to 1991. That tells me this was at least released in 1991. It says 1991. It is a UK pressing. Striper is a $45 start. Can't Stop the Rock. The collection, 1984 to 1991. 1991 UK pressing. It's a Striper's Greatest Hits. Wow. Striper's Greatest Hits. The collection, 84 to 91, $45 start. It's been like a year and a half since we've had one of those. $45 start. And I think that night we had the Knoxville Metal Collection, there were so many insane records, I think that was just a quick buy it now. So that's up for bid. 45, 45, 45. What else is in here? Stack Ridge Extravaganza. Stack Ridge is $19.99. We have Billy Squier, Enough is Enough. Don't get that one as often. Billy Squier, $19.99. Enough's Enough. Night Ranger, Dawn Patrol, $24.99 on Dawn Patrol, Night Ranger. The Best of Delaney and Bonnie. The Best of Delaney and Bonnie. That is $24.99. Striper's now at $55. John Leal wants BS, which is Billy Squier. That's sold to John Leal. Brian Tyler was second. Def Leppard, Pyromania. If you missed out on one last night, here's another $44.99 for Def Leppard, Pyromania. Not a club either. US, $44.99. Angela's at $60 on Striper. We have Fats Domino. I almost said Cats something, but it's Fats Domino. It's got like an abstract looking picture of them. That is $19.99. Fats Domino. Looks like a 2LP. Is it? I guess it's a compilation. I was looking for Blueberry Hill. There it is, 1956. So this has tracks from 1949 all the way, it looks like, till 1961. Fats Domino's a 2LP compilation, 1999. The Dixie Dregs. The Dixie Dregs, Dregs of the Earth. That's $14.99, Dixie Dregs. Neil Diamond, his 12 greatest hits, $9.99. Ian Dury and the Blockheads, Laughter, $9.99. Colin Butler on Dixie Dregs. That's sold to Colin Butler. Striper's now at $65. Olay, ELO. I called it OL, ELO forever, until I realized this little accent not only was just not there for the fun of it, but it actually meant something. It means you go A. Olay, ELO, 1999. Dave Edmunds, Subtle as a Flying Mallet, 1999. We have Joe Cocker, is 1999. Joe Cocker. Elliot Easton, Change, No Change. He was in a band called The Cars. That's $14.99. Down Child, So Far, a collection of our best, $9.99. Down Child, So Far, $9.99. And the South's Greatest Hits Volume 2. This is $19.99. This has songs from Marshall Tucker, Charlie Daniels, The Outlaws, ARS, Allman Brothers, Wet Willie, Stillwater, Sea Level, Elvin Bishop, and others. That's $19.99. Striper is at $65, $67, $75, and Brian C. wants Elliot Easton, EE. That's so to Brian C., Elliot Easton. Okay, I'm going to read through those titles one more time. Scott Snee, you were second on Elliot Easton. Here's the agenda for the rest of the night. I'm going to read through that, and then I'm pretty much going to go back to the beginning of the show. And we're going to do some recapping. And we have a ton of new vinyl. We've sold a lot. I think I started with 4 crates. It probably can all fit into 2 now. And we had 6 crates of vintage, and it probably can fit into 2 or 3, probably 3. So we'll do some recapping, not counting this one. Allen's at 75 on Striper. I will officially say, if you want to make an offer on something, go ahead, because when I start back with the other crate, I don't know if we'll make it all the way back to this one. That will be a lot of recapping if we make it all the way back to this one. So if you want to make an offer on something, go right ahead. And the reason I say that is because we already have a $15 offer on Pat Travers Black Pearl. So Jake, sell that to John Smetzer for $15. We'll make sure that goes in at $15 to John Smetzer. So here's what's left. If you want price or condition, or if you already know the price and you want to make a fair offer, these are new arrivals. We literally just priced them today. So offers are open, even though I'm very hungry. So hopefully you make fair offers. Stampeder, Sweet City Woman. Rick Derringer, Guitars and Women. Loretta Lynn, Entertainer of the Year. The Doobie Brothers Stampede. John Denver, Back Home Again. Diesel, What's in a Tank. Utopia, Oops, Wrong Planet. Rolling Stones, Emotional Rescue. Pat Travers, Hot Shot. Rolling Stones, Some Girls. Linda Ronstadt, Different Drum. That should be, this is music from my favorite Linda Ronstadt music, from Stone Ponies, such as their big hit song from the mid-60s, Different Drum, written by Mike Nesbitt. $12.99. Somebody definitely needs to pick this. I think this is Linda's best music, $12.99. That's called Different Drum. Linda Ronstadt, Simple Dreams. Doobie Brothers, What Were Once Vices. Linda Ronstadt, Mad Love. Roxy Music, Sirens. The Cars, Heartbeat City. Of Cabbage and Kings, Chad and Jeremy. Ian Dury and the Blockheads. Doobie Brothers Farewell Tour. The Carpenters Singles. Donovan's Greatest Hits. Moody Blues, Every Good Boy Deserves a Favor. Moody Blues, Seventh Sojourn. Long Distance Voyager, Moody Blues. And Moody Blues, The Present. Thomas Bowman is going to get the Ronstadt drum. If you have noticed, we don't get a lot of just Stone Ponies albums in. The actual Stone Ponies studio albums are pretty challenging to get. I think I have them. I've kept them whenever I originally got them in a long time ago, and I haven't seen many since then. That's sold to Thomas Bowman. And price on Ian. The Ian Dury's Do It Yourself is $9.99. It feels like there's something in here. Maybe just the vinyl's heavy. It has a heavy inner sleeve, $9.99. By the way, Striper, lots of people out. Final call. Allen has that for $75. We're about to sell it. Striper's at $75. We are about to sell it. Price and grade on Emotional Rescue. None of these are condition. So the vinyl is $34.99. Near mint and pristine vinyl. And we have the poster with it as well. Has the inner sleeve poster, near mint vinyl, $34.99. $34.99. Sell this Ian Dury, Jake, to Rotor Butter for $7. Price on Moody Blues Presents. Moody Blues Presents. Presents. I think you meant the present. The present. The present is $14.99, Randy. Moody Blues, the present is $14.99. And Jason offered $30 on the Rolling Stone. Sell this to Jason Dobb for $30. John, that one just got claimed because he asked about it earlier. Now, Some Girls is still available. It's $64.99. $64.99 on some girls. $64.99 on some girls. And let's go ahead and sell Striper to Alan Jonathan for $75. Striper is sold to Alan Jonathan for $75. Okay, so Eric Clapton Slow Hand, that was $34.99. Little River Band, Lone Justice Shelter, Lone Justice self-titled, The Doors self-titled, Straight Jacket, Stack Ridge, Dawn Patrol, Night Ranger, The Best of Delaney and Bonnie, Def Leppard Pyromania, Fats Domino, Neil Diamond, Ian Dury, Olay ELO, Dave Edmonds, Joe Cocker, Downchild, and the South's Greatest Hits. Surprised no one bought that. How much is Dawn Patrol? Night Ranger was $24.99. Does have a piece of tape right up here on the top. Vinyl's near mint minus EX Plus. The Doors was $34.99. That was the Butterfly label from the early 70s. About a VG cover because it has a braille strip. We bought a collection where a guy said his brother-in-law lived with him and he was deaf or he was blind, and he had a braille strip and it had a clip corner there as well. Overall, though, very clean copy for what it is, $34.99. Striper sold for $75. Striper sold for $75. Anybody else on this bin before we move on? Night Ranger, The Doors, South's Greatest Hits, Downchild, Joe Cocker. South's Greatest Hits was $19.99. South's Greatest Hits was $19.99, Volume 2. Joe Cocker, Dave Edmonds, ELO. Great tracks on ELO. Showdown, Can't Get It Out of My Head, Evil Woman, Strange Magic, and then one of their first singles, 105-38 Overture. That's $19.99 on that one. Ian Dury again, Neil Diamond, Fast Domino, Def Leppard, Delaney and Bonnie, Stack Ridge, Straight Jacket, Lone Justice, LRB, Eric Clapton, Stones, Moody Blues, Moody Blues, Moody Blues, Moody Blues. 4 Moody Blues, Donovan, Carpenters, Doobies, Chad and Jeremy, The Cars, Roxy Music, Linda Ronstadt, Doobies, Linda Ronstadt, Pat Travers, Utopia, Diesel, John Denver, Doobies, Loretta, Rick Derringer, and the Stampeders, Sweet City Woman. Mike says he wants Billy Joe the Bridge whenever we go back to it. Okay, I will find that. So there's that crate. That one's probably done for the night. Unless anybody changes their mind on something. That was the second to last crate we went through. Let me add these records to it. I think they'll fit in here. Let me do some condensing. So give me about, before I start any auctions or continue, give me like, I'm going to need like 60 seconds or less to probably do some condensing and figure out what we can show. There's that. There's another empty crate. Plus, we'll probably need some of these empty crates in just a second. That might be one of the first. Yeah, that was the first crate we went to because it still has that Black Sabbath album no one claimed, which I was shocked at. Let's see here. This was the last crate of vintage we went through. I think it will all fit in here. Might be a little tight, but that way we don't have to change crates as often. Yeah, they all fit in there. There's another empty crate. There's that. There's those. There's a little bit of this and some of that. There's the crate we just went through. I don't know if I can do too much condensing on those. Yeah, that was the first crate of new we went through. So, do this in the right order. There's that bin, and there's the first bin. Okay, let's go to one of the very first bins we showed tonight. Let me put this up. Let's see here. Here we go. We have, let's see. Oh, there's another crate of vintage. I'll combine that one with this one. I think we went through that one pretty recently, but that's okay. We'll do it in a second. All right, so we have Black Flag, Slip It In. Black Flag is $36.99. That is Slip It In, new and sealed. So first crate is going to be some new vinyl. If you missed the very first part of the show, great new vinyl here. First is Black Flag, Slip It In. We have a new Tool Stranglehold. That's a live unofficial. The Kalamazoo, $44.99. That is on colored vinyl. Tool is $44.99. So Black Flag, we have Tool. We have Robert Cray Band and Stevie Ray Vaughan, $34.99. That's Old Jam, New Blood, the Redo Club, Dallas, 1987, $34.99 on Cray and Vaughn. John Ambrosic wants Tool. That's sold to John Ambrosic. So here's the first Janis Joplin. This one we only have one copy left because I got to pull Jason Kenton's. Janis Joplin is $44.99. $44.99. This is Janis Joplin Janis. 2 LP, blue colored vinyl, limited edition 1500, and that is $44.99. There was a big pre-order on that. Jake, that's the only thing sold so far. That's sold to John Ambrosic. What's the Tool? The Tool is a new live unofficial. It's a 2 LP, $44.99. I see 46 and 2, Stink Fist, Sober, Anima. So got some good tracks on it. $44.99. $44.99. Stranglehold, $44.99. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Janis, last copy of that one. Last copy of Gloria Estefan, cuts both ways, limited and numbered to 2000 on silver vinyl, $38.99. David Bowie and 9 Inch Nails live, $19.95. David Bowie and 9 Inch Nails live, $19.95. White colored vinyl, hand numbered, that's also a live unofficial. David Bowie and 9 Inch Nails, $36.99. $36.99. Dwight Yoakam, Swimming Pools Movie Stars, $29.99 for Dwight Yoakam. We have 3 copies of that left. And Nirvana, In Utero, $36.99. We got some new audiophile stuff. Miles Davis, Jack Johnson, long out of stock and out of print, or I should say out of stock MoFi pressings, $46.99. We have Stevie Ray Vaughan, The Sky is Crying from Analog Productions, $49.99. Soul Blues, Lightning Hopkins, $49.99. Snot from Music on Vinyl, $38.99. Get the Knack by The Knack, that is $46.99. That's a new sealed MoFi pressing. Chris Kirkley wants the David Bowie, that's the Bowie and 9 Inch Nails. Eric Storbick on Snot, Get Some, that's sold to Eric. And we have Dave Matthews Band Crash. This is $38.99. Dave Matthews Band Crash, $38.99. Neil Young Harvest Moon, $36.99. And Grateful Dead Anthem of the Sun, 50th Anniversary Remaster, $29.99. Price on Black Flag. Black Flag is $36.99. Slip it in. So Black Flag, Tool, Stranglehold, that's a live unofficial, $44.99. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Robert Cray, Janis Joplin Janis, Gloria Estefan, David Bowie and 9 Inch Nails, Dwight Yoakam, In Utero by Nirvana, Miles Davis, Jack Johnson. The first Stevie Ray Vaughan is at $49.99. That would be a 33 1/3. That's a single LP, 33 1/3. That is $49.99. We have Soulful Blues, Lightning Hopkins. We have The Knack, Dave Matthews Band, Neil Young, and Grateful Dead. That's all left from the very first crate. Now I'm going to run through a crate of vintage. I think it's the very first crate of vintage we went through tonight. So let's go through those. I'm going to set these over here, right there, and we'll go through these. Let's see what we have in here. All righty. I think I do. I probably can come up with a few more auctions just to keep some stuff going in the back. Paul Brothers also wants a Bowie and 9 Inch Nails. I believe that was our last copy of that. We'll pull that for Paul Brothers. Bowie and 9 Inch Nails. That was the first crate. Was probably a good representation of what we have tonight in new vinyl. A lot of stuff we haven't had in a while. Great titles. Some things, like I said, I hadn't seen in a while. I do have a putback bin over here, but I think I'm going to save that for tomorrow. I'm going to come over here and grab a couple other auctions. A few things I don't think I've got to before. There's another Jeff Beck, Brian Adams, Dylan. Don't see that one too often. Dylan, Journey, Otis Redding, and Sam Cooke. Here we go. Like the sounds of these. We probably have several more great auctions to run through. Let's see what the Sam Cooke looks like. Let me set this over here for a second. Sam Cooke, this is called Gold Deluxe. Let's take a look at this. Sam Cooke Gold Deluxe. Sam Cooke Gold Deluxe. Okay, we have a gatefold. Looks like a very nice jacket. About VG Plus on the Obi, because it is torn right here. That could probably be flattened, and you could work on that, put it in the sleeve where it's flattened out. Has the Japanese insert with lyrics, and let's check what the LPs look like. This is let's see here. I'm going to call this one like VG Plus. I had a feeling, yeah, I looked at this. This and the Sam Cooke are check condition. That's why we had them set aside. So yeah, this is about VG Plus. By Japanese quality, this is about VG Plus on the Sam Cooke. So 2LP Japanese pressing. That disc was VG Plus, and yes, side 1 here is near mint minus, and side 2 is near mint minus. So disc 1 is actually very, very nice, or disc 2, whatever side this is. And that disc was about VG Plus. It's a great compilation of music, though. Awesome track listing. $35 start. That's Sam Cooke Gold Deluxe. That is now up for bid. $35 start on that. And the Dylan is Desire. And this is near mint and pristine Japanese pressing of Bob Dylan Desire. So this has the LP right here. About any night, we have at least, what, 15 Bob Dylan albums? I bet if you keep track, we show Bob Dylan at least on average 10, maybe 15 times a night, different albums of his. Yeah, this is near mint and pristine Japanese press. Some of these I hadn't really got to look at too much in this batch. $35 start, anti-static. There's the original inner sleeve. This comes with pretty much a Japanese book with it. And the cover is near mint with Obi. $35 start on Desire, $35 start on Sam Cooke. We're going to do a recap of this being here. We have Ricky Van Shelton, Wild Eyed Dream, $24.99. Climax Blues Band, gold-plated shrink wrap and hop sticker, $22.99. Black Oak, Race with the Devil, $16.99 for Black Oak, Race with the Devil. Creedence Clearwater Revival, Willie and the Poor Boys, $29.99 for Willie and the Poor Boys, CCR. A Taste of Honey, Martin Denny, $9.99. Deep Purple Fireball, $32.99 on Deep Purple Fireball. Original label, pretty clean vinyl, about a VG cover. Dirt Band Jealousy, $14.99. That's in shrink wrap. Jesus Christ Superstar, $19.99. Gatefold with the booklet you see there, $19.99. Rubber Rodeo Scenic Views, $19.99. And Rubber Bush is $24.99. That's from 1988, and it is on red vinyl. Rubber Bush and Rubber Rodeo. Black Oak, Arkansas, self-titled is $19.99. We have There Goes the Neighborhood, Joe Walsh. That's near mint and pristine in shrink wrap, $19.99 on Joe Walsh. David Gates, First. David Gates is $9.99. Ricky Van Shelton, Love and Proof, $24.99. Elvis Presley, Elvis, $19.99, 2LP TV record. The Best of Black Oak, Arkansas, in shrink wrap, $19.99. Surprised no one bought that one. The Best of Black Oak, Arkansas. Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3 is $19.99. Ringo Starr, Stop and Smell the Roses, $24.99. Pat Benatar, Get Nervous, $14.99 on Pat Benatar. Steppenwolf Monster is $19.99. Cat Stevens, Teaser and the Firecat, $14.99 on Cat Stevens, Teaser, and the Firecat. That has the original inner sleeve with it. Bad Luck Streak and Dancing School, Warren Zevon, $34.99. The Johnny Van Zant Band, The Last of the Wild Ones, $24.99 on Johnny Van Zant Band. We have Joe Walsh, But Seriously Folks, $19.99 on Joe Walsh, But Seriously Folks. The Tubes is $19.99. That's their self-titled album. The Tubes, $19.99. Toronto, Girls Night Out. Toronto is $14.99. We have Traffic, When the Eagle Flies, $19.99 on Traffic. Van Halen, Diver Down. That was $39.99 for Diver Down. Vandenberg, Heading for a Storm, $24.99, gold stamp promo. Vandenberg. Timbuk 3, Edge of Allegiance. Timbuk 3, $19.99. Thunderclap Newman, Hollywood Dream, $26.99. T for the Tillerman, EX Condition, $12.99. And Black Sabbath, self-titled. If you don't have a vintage copy of this, this is a good start. NIMS, it's very clean vinyl, $44.99. Of course, I think y'all see what the OG green labels go for. We sold one last night for well over $100. That's $44.99. It's a very clean copy. All right, let's make Sam Cooke and Bob Dylan buy it nows. If anybody wants Sam Cooke, it's a $35 buy it now. And keep in mind, I guess overall, this averages as a EX copy. One disc is near mint minus, and one disc is VG plus. And Dylan's a $35 buy it now. Michael Nath wants the Dylan. I think somebody should grab this. It's still going to play very well. And see, I flattened down the obi when I put it back in the sleeve. You never have to take the cover out again. Can't even tell it's ripped. $35 on Sam Cooke. And Michael Nath, you're going to get the Dylan for $35. Does anybody want to make an offer on anything in that crate before I move on to the next pack? I can't believe we'd even get an offer on anything in there. First time that's ever happened. Nothing. That's sold to Michael Nath for $35. Mike Kennedy said he'd give $38 for Black Sabbath. Sold. Mike Kennedy, $38. See how easy that was? Now I can say we went through a crate and at least something sold. Probably going to go through one more. I am starting to get very hungry. And we're going to do this again tomorrow with all new arrivals. And sometimes I don't like going through them too many times, because when we go back through them again in about a month, I'm probably going to be like, man, look at all these great records that didn't sell. And then there'll be buy it now best offer. So Paul Brothers wants Sam Cooke. Let's sell that to Paul Brothers, also for a $35 buy it now. I will go through one more crate as a buy it now best offer, and I'll start 2 more Japanese auctions. I actually have 3 laying over here, so we may do 3 more. But let's do the next 2, which is Journey Frontiers. Journey Frontiers. It's in shrink wrap with Obi. The vinyl is, make sure, because I don't have these noted. Yeah, this is very clean. This is near mint minus. Journey Frontiers, $35 start. Journey Frontiers. There is the Japanese insert. There is the 2-page flip, and the cover is in shrink wrap. That's a $35 start. $35 start. Pat Benatar 10, What's the Rush, and Black Oak 15. Let me address all those right now. But first, let me show the history of Otis Redding. The history of Otis Redding, is this Japanese? This is a Japanese press. The history of Otis Redding, single LP. This is about EX condition. This one's about EX, single disc. Great track listing. Trying to figure out if it had a year. I don't see a year on this one, because that's a odd Japanese label. I think this may be that color label usually signifies an older Japanese release. There's the lyric insert. There's the cover. No Obi with this one. This will be a $25 start. So $25 start on the Japanese pressing of the history of Otis Redding. EX on the vinyl does have the lyric insert. Journey's a $35 start. Now, Pat Benatar. I think there's only one Pat Benatar in here, which is Get Nervous. We're going to sell that to John Ambrosic for $10. Mike Kennedy got Black Sabbath for $38. Pat Benatar sold to John Ambrosic for $10. Now the Rush. The Rush is an OG 1974 Terre Haute press, $95. $95. Rush, 74 Terre Haute, $95 on that. Here's the only 3 auctions that have not sold. Permanent Waves, a near mint Japanese pressing, VG Plus cover or better, $85 buy it now. Self-titled, $95. And then the only Japanese pressing is Billy Joel and Innocent Man, $35 buy it now on that. Near mint in shrink wrap. John's in on Journey at $35. And then Calvin, you offered $15 for Black Oak. There's a couple in here. There's 3 Black Oaks in here, actually. So I might need to know which one you want. We have the best of Black Oak, Arkansas, Black Oak Race with the Devil, and Black Oak, Arkansas self-titled. Calvin says 15 on best of. Sell that to Calvin Ward Jake for $15. And let's sell Mike Kennedy Rush for $85. Mike, you got a nice copy of Rush there. That's sold to Mike Kennedy for $85. And Permanent Waves is $85 if anybody's interested in that. Now we're down to 2 records in our no-sale pile. Now we're down to 2. And I think I can condense those 2 crates. And we've emptied a crate. We probably do need to run through a crate of new vinyl right quick. I do have 3 full crates for those that missed the very first part of the show. We had some great new vinyl come in. I will definitely be posting a flip video in the group, because some of this stuff is absolutely just out of stock forever, stuff we don't get into often. First is some more Stevie Ray Vaughan. This is 45 RPM 2LP, 45 RPM 2LP, 100% analog, Texas Flood, $69.99. We have the Dandy Warhols, $38.99. That's a new music on vinyl. Welcome to the Monkey House. The Dandy Warhols, $38.99. This is Soul to Soul, also a 45 RPM, $69.99. Analog Productions. I'm really surprised we didn't sell more of these. At only $36.99, self-titled Casey and the Sunshine Band, a MoFi pressing. $36.99 for Casey and the Sunshine Band, a MoFi pressing, $36.99. Also surprised we didn't sell any of these. A Very Special Christmas, because come Christmas time, it's like one of the biggest sellers on the charts on new vinyl. A Very Special Christmas, $36.99. Sherry Darnell is going to take a Casey and the Sunshine Band. I think we sold one or two earlier. That one sold to Sherry Darnell. Another new MoFi restock. This is Miles Davis, Round About Midnight. $46.99 on that. $46.99 on Miles Davis, Round About Midnight. A restock of one of the new Overkill albums for this week, WFO. Overkill is $33.99. Prince, Purple Rain, $31.99. The new Wham compilation, this is Wham, the singles, $46.99. Dwight Yoakam Live from Austin, Texas, $36.99. We have two of those left. Prince, The Goat Experience, $38.99. Cake, Fashion Nugget, $31.99. The Beach Boys Pet Sounds in mono, that's in mono, $33.99. The Very Best of ELO, $36.99. And The Very Best of Crowded House, $36.99. Paul Brothers wants Miles Davis, and that was Round About Midnight, a classic. That's sold to Paul Brothers. We also have the Miles Davis Plays Jack Johnson. Surprised we didn't sell out of that. Let's also go ahead and sell John Smetzer, The Journey, for $35. That's sold to John Smetzer for $35. Mark Lent wants the Dwight Live. We'll pull that for Mark Lent. I have one copy of that left. I forgot how I ended up on Dwight Yoakam, but when I searched his name, there were several things in stock, and I didn't have them back ordered, and that's why we've had so much Dwight lately. He's a big seller, especially in these parts. That is sold to Mark Lent, and that was sold for $35 to John Smetzer. And if anybody wants Otis Redding, it's a $25 buy it now. The History of Otis Redding, Japanese press. The vinyl is about E, or excellent, as we call it. Some people call it EX. I sometimes see it abbreviated as E, especially overseas. That's a $25 buy it now on the History of Otis Redding. All right, before I go through this next, also, sorry, I got something on my lip I've been pulling at. Last Japanese pressing of the night, probably. But we do have another crate of vintage to go through very quickly. This is Timepieces, the best of Eric Clapton. The best of Eric Clapton. And this is near mint and pristine. $35 start. $35 start. Tracks such as Cocaine, Lay Down Sally, Willie and the Handjive, Promises, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Let It Grow. Also, I Shot the Sheriff, After Midnight, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Wonderful Tonight, and Layla. Boy, that B-side's a good one. Or that was actually side one. $35 start on that. That's Eric Clapton Timepieces. It includes the lyric insert and a really nice cover of Obi. $35 start on that. All right, I'm going to change crates. I guess I went through everything in there. We'll put that over here with the others. All right, which crate of vintage do we want to go through next? Probably this one. Yeah, we'll go through this one. I'm already thinking about where I'm going to go eat at. Paul Brothers is going to get the Otis Redding. Now, Eric, hold on. Eric says Testament Souls of Black. Let's see here. I may have a copy of that left right here, Eric. That is $44.99, Souls of Black. And Paul Brothers gets the History of Otis Redding for $25. Now, we just need somebody to bid on Eric Clapton and to buy these. Billy Joel is $35 and Rush is $85. And I've got a lot of money tied up in Rush. Actually, I'm selling that pretty tight on that one already. Usually, I thought that would bring well over 100. Eric says, I'll take Testament. I had Whataburger, but I had grilled chicken last night. I'm thinking I'll probably end up there. Must be Waffle House. That sounds awfully good. Waffle House does sound awfully good. Okay, last crate of vintage for sure. Y'all have already, okay, food's on my mind. It's over now. Leonard Skinner, Street Survivors, VG Plus, $22.99. So these are a recap bin. Buy it now, best offer. Leonard Skinner, Street Survivors, VG Plus, $22.99. Todd Rundgren, The Ever Tortured Artist Effect. This has Bang on the Drum All Day. EX, $17.99. Cheap Trick in color. That's a VG copy. VG, $9.99. The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, VG Plus condition, $24.99. VG Plus, $24.99. The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. VG condition, $14.99. Original label 2i, $14.99. VG condition. The Doobie Brothers, The Captain and Me, that's EX, $12.99. Thomas Dolby, The Golden Age of Wireless, EX condition, $22.99. The Golden Age of Wireless, EX, $22.99. Neil Young, Comes a Time, VG Plus, $24.99. Paul's in on Clapton at $35. Final Call on Eric Clapton. I Stand Alone, Al Cooper, VG copy, $9.99. Bruce Springsteen, Greetings from Asbury Park, VG Plus, $14.99. Huey Lewis and the News, Sports, that's a VG copy, $9.99. Shane's in on Eric Clapton at $36. Derek and the Dominoes in concert. Derek and the Dominoes in concert, VG Plus condition, $24.99. That's a great live album, $24.99. John Denver, Farewell Andromeda, EX, $12.99. Kelly Cook Wants Sports by Huey Lewis. That's sold to Kelly Cook. Charlie Daniels, Saddle Tramp, EX condition, $22.99 on Charlie Daniels. Bob Dylan, Empire Burlesque. That's a VG copy for $14.99 on Dylan. Bob Dylan, Street Legal, EX condition, $22.99. Rami Lou, we have already sold the Otis. We already sold that for $25. Leonard Skinner, Nothing Fancy, VG condition, $14.99. Paul's back in on Clapton at $39. Hank Williams, Greatest Hits, VG Plus, $14.99. Hank Williams, Greatest Hits. Peter Frampton, VG Plus, $14.99. And Yes, Classic Yes, EX condition, $17.99. That's a great compilation of Yes music if you don't have that, $17.99. The Who's Next, VG Plus, $14.99. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. How did this not sell? I guess I didn't hype it up enough. VG Plus condition. It is VG Plus, but it's $24.99. Kelly Cook also wants Yes. Kelly Cook got Sports, and Kelly Cook got Yes. Shane Devers, let me know if you're in or out on Eric Clapton. We have Paul at $39, and that's a final call, especially if Shane says he's out, but we'll find out. Paul Simon, Still Crazy After All These Years, VG Plus, $14.99. Elmo James, The Sky is Crying. That's a late 90s press, $34.99. Late 90s press on Elmo James. The Allman Brothers, check, I always mess this up, check the oil, wipe the windows, check the oil, and dollar gas. I think I say usually like wipe the oil, check the gas, and dollar windows. $34.99. Kelly Bagwell says Leonard Skinner was Nothing Fancy, or more specifically, Nothing. Nothing Fancy. That's a VG copy, $14.99. Shane's back in on Clapton at $40. The Who's Next for $10. Sell that to John Smetzer for $10. Sell that to John Smetzer. The Original Animals, Before We Were So Rudely Interrupted, $14.99. Van Halen 2, $44.99. An Evening with Harry Belafonte, $9.99. We're going to sell Kelly Bagwell, Leonard Skinner for $10. And we're going to sell James Bragg, the Allman Brothers for $28. 10 and 28 on those, Kelly and James. Goodbye, Cream. Cream is in shrink wrap. It's on the original yellow Atco label. Very clean copy, $39.99. That was their last album. Any poster in here? No poster, but it does have the original Atco inner sleeve. Eric Clapton's now at $43 with Paul Brothers. Charlie Daniels Band, Full Moon, $24.99 for Charlie Daniels Band, Full Moon. CCR, Willie and the Poor Boys, $29.99 for Willie and the Poor Boys. Bad Company, Desolation Angels, $19.99. Bernadette Peters is $19.99. Shane's back in on Eric Clapton at $45. Lace and Whiskey, Alice Cooper. Here's a very clean record I'm surprised didn't sell. Has the original inner sleeve, $26.99. It's near mint in shrink wrap. Lace and Whiskey, $26.99. Joe Beatty wants Full Moon. That's the Charlie Daniels Band. That's sold to Joe Beatty. We have David Crosby, Stephen Stills, and Graham Nash, commonly known as Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Replay, $24.99. Thomas Bowman said BP 16. Bernadette Peters, sell that to Thomas Bowman for $16. Craig Johnson offered $25 for Alice Cooper. Sell that to Craig Johnson for $25. James Bragg, you were second. Okay, Paul Brothers is out on Eric Clapton. Let me adjust my neck. I also need a drink of water if y'all hadn't been able to tell. I'm over here almost choking. Final call then on Eric Clapton, because we have Shane at 45 and Paul says he's out. Those were the only two bidders, going twice, going 3 times. I only mentioned Taylor Swift once tonight. I forgot because I didn't have her in the new arrivals. We've actually got a whole Taylor Swift section over here. I don't think technically I have any copies of the new album. There'll be more here on Monday. I really didn't know how many to order. You never know about these kind of things. It could sell really well or not, but I think I may have 1 or 2 copies left of the new Taylor Swift album. That's $49.99. This is Taylor Swift Day. If she has a new album out, it pretty much takes over the world, especially on social media. So if anybody needs one, I have it. And then I made a post. I made a post of all the other Taylor Swift albums, which we've got a lot if you hadn't already seen. The only thing I'm missing is Folklore that's in print. But there's the new album, $49.99. I've also got self-titled, Red, Lover, Reputation, 1989, Fearless, Taylor's version, Evermore, Red, Taylor's version, and then Speak Now, the original version. And then I've got all 4 different variants of Midnight. So Taylor is well in stock here. There's Speak Now, Taylor's version, the new release, and then we have the original Speak Now, and then all those there. Lover is the most pricier one because it's a import only, $59.99, and that's on purple vinyl. So we get the indie store purple. That's the color we get. That's black. That's black. Lover's on pink and blue. Reputation's a picture disc. 1989's black. Fearless is on gold vinyl. Evermore is on green vinyl. Red is on black vinyl, and then Speak Now. And then I've got, of course, Midnights is on 4 different colors. That's our Taylor Swift inventory. Ben offered $18 for Elton John. Ben, I hate to discount that, but I will take $20 for it. That's the only thing I have countered so far tonight. If you're good with $20, I'll sell you Elton John for $20. How could you say no? Okay, so back to the Ben. Delaney and Bonnie is $24.99. Ray Charles, A Man in His Soul, is $29.99. Boney M, Night Flight to Venus, $26.99. Sell Ben, Elton John for $20, and let's go ahead and tag this Eric Clapton for $45 to Shane Devers. Bartford and Ronnie, Life Is You, $19.99 for Bartford and Ronnie. Eric Clapton, Money and Cigarettes, is $34.99. Queen, A Night at the Opera, that's a 180-gram remaster, $34.99, near mint. Eric Clapton, Just One Night, $34.99. Spirit of 84, that's in shrink wrap, $19.99. Quarter Flash is $19.99. We also have Little Richard's 20 Greatest Hits, $19.99 on Little Richard. Billy Joel, The Bridge, and somebody wanted this. Who wanted this? Maybe they're still watching, or maybe I can find out. That was Mike Tonetti. Jake put down Mike's name on this right here. He wanted The Bridge. That's sold to Mike Tonetti. We have Van Halen self-titled, $44.99. Spirit, The Best of Spirit, $19.99. The Hissing of Summer Lawns, Joni Mitchell, $19.99. Bonnie Tyler is $9.99. Van Morrison Live, still available, $39.99. I think that's the only Van Morrison that has not sold. Wadsworth Mansion, $14.99. Vanilla Fudge, Rock and Roll, $19.99. UFO is still available. Force It, $24.99. Marshall Tucker Band, Carolina Dreams, $24.99. And the Yardbirds, Shapes of Things, a collection of Yardbird classics from 64 to 66, $26.99. Page, Beck, $26.99. All right. If there'll be nothing else, we'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central Time here on CollectCo Live, Facebook and YouTube, with new vintage arrivals. We'll go back through all this new vinyl again because we've got a bunch, and I feel like a second time around, we'll definitely sell a lot more of it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Can I get the Sawyer Brown from earlier? You can. Sawyer Brown, that might be in this crate here. Rush, Cream, Chicago, Bonnie, Chubby, Cash, Benatar, Steve Earle, Hollies, Marillion, Spoonful, Guess Who, Jay Giles, Who, Hendrix. Wow, we didn't sell the Wasp. Hendrix, yes. Travers, it's right here, Sawyer Brown. That is sold to Mike Post. That's sold to Mike Post. I was waiting for Sherry to claim this. Sherry Darnell is going to get the Van Morrison Live. Van Morrison Live. So Mike Post got the Sawyer Brown. Sherry Darnell on Van Morrison. You had a Jethro Tull comp earlier. Would you sell it for $14? You mean $14.99, right? me see if I can find out. I think I was just in that bin. It was this next bin right over here. I just pulled those out of. Hendrix, Wasp. There's Jethro Tull. We will sell that to John Miller for $14. You know it's got to end in 1999, right? Did I see a Loudness record earlier? You probably did. I have, let's see here, Dwight, Lost Boys, Tom Waits, Oingo Boingo, Oingo Boingo. You might have saw it over here. You might have saw it. Let me move the camera. Let's see. I don't know where you've seen that at. I know I have one. Dwight, Lost Boys, Oingo Boingo. Let's see. What's the name of that album? It's on red vinyl. We only have 1 or 2 copies of it. Maybe it's right here. No, that's Avenged Sevenfold. The Wasp was Wasp self-titled, $74.99. Wasp self-titled, $74.99. Move this camera where y'all can see titles a little bit more. I don't know what happened to that Loudness record or where you could have caught a glance at it, but we have one. Maybe that was in the very first crate. Thomas Bowman wants a Dwight Yoakam Live. Let's pull that out of this crate back here. Dwight Yoakam Live. That's sold to Thomas Bowman. Which Dwight and Lost Boys? Lost Boys is the soundtrack on red vinyl. That's red vinyl, $39.99. And then, of course, that was our last copy of Live. We have Blame the Vein. It's $33.99. And then we have the Swimming Pools. That is $29.99. Swimming Pools is $29.99. How much was Cure? That was a Music on Vinyl press for $38.99. Music on Vinyl press for $38.99. 17 seconds. Music on Vinyl. Rich Record. I would love to sell that to you. I'd also love to see all 3 Dwights and the Lost Boys. And that means final deal of the night. Rush was $85 and Billy Joel was $35. If anybody wants both of them, I'll sell both of these for $100. Another $20 off. You get Rush Permanent Waves and Billy Joel, $100 for both of them. That's the last deal I'll offer the night. Swimming Pools full album. Yes, Swimming Pools is the full album from Dwight. Rich Record wants to Cure 17 Seconds. That's sold to him, $38.99. I have one more of those around here somewhere. And let me find that Dwight. Right here is the Dwight. It's called Swimming Pools Movie Stars. The Bluegrass Sessions featuring Guitars Cadillacs, These Arms, and Purple Rain pressed on limited edition colored vinyl. The Bluegrass Sessions, Dwight Yoakam, featuring Guitars Cadillacs, These Arms, and Purple Rain, pressed on limited edition colored vinyl, $29.99. Nick Bargeron said sold on that. Is anybody going to take my Japanese deal here? Billy Joel and Rush bundle. Interesting mix of music. $100 for both of those, or $35 and $85. If you're interested in both, obviously the deal would be much better for you. Okay. If there'll be nothing else, now I'm going to hit the button. I figured we'd make it to 10 o'clock. I like it when I go back and look through the streams, I like it when they all say at least 4 hours. We've almost made it 4 hours tonight. About 20 more minutes and we would have hit there. So, okay. And I'm about to hit the button. Thanks, everybody. Hope you come back tomorrow at 7. Saturday nights are always fun. We usually go through a lot of stuff. Buy it now, best offer. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, and good night from Lebanon. See y'all tomorrow night.